In today's video, I'll be giving you 5 SoloQ strats for all 16 ranked maps in Rainbow Six Siege. The first strat of which is going to be this top floor mute strat for Oregon. Armory hold. Most people leave armory to the attackers for absolutely free, giving them control of trophy, which is a crucial mistake. Instead, you want to be playing in this area with mute, legion, or alibi. The reason I chose these operators specifically is because they have relevant utility, of course, but also they have a shotgun for this hold. With the shotgun, you want to open up head-high holes all along armory and the master wall so that you can watch master from deep armory. As you can see, I'm in armory and I have a huge angle onto the master door, as well as anybody trying to walk into the master closet. If you're playing mute, put a mute jammer on top main right here. You also want a mute jammer on the top of main right here, just in case they have a Flores to try to drone through this window and try to like Flores open this wall, which has happened to me, or they try to Flores barbed wire or a deployable shield here. You just don't want them to be able to drone through this window into trophy. You also want a mute jammer somewhere on the master door here. This just makes it to where they can't go and drone you from this doorway to see your hold right here. You know, you don't want them to be able to see the head holes in your hold here, so you put a mute jammer right there. And then lastly, if you don't have any sort of like wall denial like a bandit or arcade, you can use your blast mute jammer right here on the wall, or you can put it on top white if you need to. Doesn't really matter. This will make it to where they can't drone you from any of the important angles, allowing for easy kills. If you picked Legion instead, make the exact same holes while putting Legion mines on any of the attacker entry points that they could possibly push you from in order to get free information so you can swing off of these mines and get free kills. If you picked Alibi, make the exact same head holes, but this time put observation blockers on these head holes. What this is going to do is make it to where if anybody drones in Master, they won't be able to see your hold, but they also won't be able to see any Alibi clones behind these observation blockers, making it to where when they run in and they shoot the Alibi clone, you can easily swing and kill anybody that's getting pinged currently. You can do it on these same exact head holes right here with an observation blocker and a clone right behind it. And then also what I like to do is I'll put a clone on this window, I'll break the hatch, and then I'll prep this window. That way, if anybody is on the window above me and they end up shooting the alibi clone, I already have this window open. I just drop the hatch, run out, and then I get a free kill. So that's a pretty cool strat. And your last observation blocker can go somewhere inside. It doesn't really matter. But that is pretty much the first strat. The second strat is an elbow Oregon rush. For this, you want a blitz and some smokes, or somebody else with smokes preferably. As blitz, your entire job is to run into elbow and quickly take control of elbow, killing the shield player and holding this key position passively while your teammates do their job. Have your teammate smoke off the head holes that are typically here, as well as the door that is typically here, and you'll pretty much be set as the blitz to walk in without anybody shooting you in the back and do your job here. Once you have control of elbow in the main part of construction, your work is pretty much cut out for you. Have one of your teammates take control of pillar by dropping the box hatch and going through pillar, or going from the back stairs and then going through pillar. Either way, you need pillar control to get free control of this entire side of the map and get an easy plant so that people don't push your hallway. The best operators to help with this specifically are obviously Blitz to rush, and then you have Gridlock for her ability to help with the plant, but also for the smokes for the head holes, like I said, and for the door. And then Ying with hard breaching charges to get the box hatch, and Ying pillar, and then drop. Or she can also just go through stairs, like I said. And finally, Lion for supporting the Blitz by scanning whenever Blitz rushes in and getting the plant down. So that's pretty much it for this second strat. This third strat is a Ying push on top floor Oregon, as Ying brings smokes and have somebody with grenades with you for the strat. You're going to push the big window in dorms. Early round, again, you're just going to shoot open the big window and try to bait anybody ego peeking you. So within the first minute, you want to play passive on this window after shooting it and wait for anybody swinging here, or maybe swinging off the dorms, or maybe even somebody trying to pre-fire you through this wall. You just bait them and get a free kill. If you can do that, cool. If not, wait for your teammate to get to the bottom white window, which is this window right here. As you're waiting for him to do that, you can get on your drone and drone out dorms. If you see that somebody is here behind dorms, have your teammate with grenades on the window nade anybody that is in dorms from below. As you can see here, I'm a teammate with nades, and I'm just going to nade from below from this window to help my Ying out on the window. If he's able to get this kill on the person in dorms, then that's great. If not, then you're going to throw a fully cooked Ying Candela blind, as your teammate also throws a grenade. This will make it to where he doesn't even hear or see that he's getting naded, and he either gets killed, or he sees that he's getting naded and he moves out the way, and then you as the Ying get a free kill. Either way, the person in dorms now should pretty much be dead. If all of this fails, or if no one is in dorms in the first place, then comes the most risky and fun part of the strat. Have your teammate that was on the bottom white window grenading push all the way up to top white stairs. This teammate now is able to hold a huge cutoff in between the sites, so that whenever you push into the big window, nobody can go in this hallway or on this doorway to kill you or shoot you and deny you from planting. When your teammate gets top white control, This is where you hop into the site. You're going to smoke the feed holes that are typically on your left right here. You're going to throw a 1 charge yin candela over right there. Now, I actually threw that wrong. Typically, you want to throw it over the shelf so that it blinds right about here. This will blind anybody that is in this general vicinity or anybody on the kids' door that would be able to deny you from walking in. Also, if there's still a person in dorms, obviously you want to ying them too. And then you're going to use your last smoke whenever you hop in right here. This will allow you to come into here and plant behind the shelf right here so that you can win the round. Now, if you ended up not using a smoke and you have a smoke left and a yin candela left, then you want to use that smoke in the post plant. If you still have yin candelas left, however, after the plant or right before you plant, you want to throw a yin candela that is not cooked at all, and you want to let it roll just like this. Now, the reason we don't cook it at all is because most defenders, when they hear a yin candela roll, they're going to run away or at least try not to look at it whenever it rolls towards them. If this is the case, it gives you so much time to be able to plant the bomb because nobody is pushing you. Also, if you throw a yin candela just like that after you plant, let's say I get the bomb down and I throw it just like this, it gives me time to then leave and get on the window to then be able to easily deny the plant if I need to. With your teammate on top white able to hold across, he's able to also go down white and use the grenade holes that you used earlier to deny the plant from below. With your teammate on top white and you in dorms, in general, it's very hard for them to defuse and deny if you want your teammate to plant and if you and your teammate play passively, which is why this strat is so good. The fourth strat is a Valkyrie setup for Oregon and a pre-placed nitro from below. As Valkyrie, shoot out this portion of the top of the trophy wall, then throw a Valkyrie camera where you shot to get a full view of, as you can see, trophy and attic. Next, put a camera somewhere in master, like down here, maybe under this lamp here, or in the most common place in the top corner of this room right here. Your final camera needs to go somewhere in dorms so that you can watch the double window hop in. This will be very important later. You can either put it somewhere in the shelf, which again can still watch the big window and isn't super obvious to many attackers, or you can make a camera somewhat like this that will watch the dorms, hop in, and all of kids as well. Either way, you just want a camera to watch this double window hop in, which will be very, very important later. As Valkyrie, you're going to play below, preferably with your teammate to cover you if you have one and if needed. You're going to pre-place your nitro cell below closet, where most people would try to get the wall open. Then get on your camera. Go to the master camera that you pre-placed earlier. Whenever you see someone run into the closet like a thermite to try to get the wall open, you can easily deny it with your nitro cell that you pre-placed right here. If no one pushes the side of the map though, then you can pick up your nitro. If no one's pushing that side, then chances are they're probably pushing the other side of the map, which is why I had you place a cam for dorms. As Valkyrie, you're going to rotate into the comms room and pre-place a nitro below the double window right here. Then get on your dorms cam. Once you see them hop into this window on your camera, blow up the nitro and collect your free kill. This can also work below the default plant all the way over here, or the plant right here. But if they're pushing dorms, you can also put it below the plant right here, all while being completely safe playing below with Valkyrie camera. The fifth strat is this Fenrir attic hold. As Fenrir, place a mine in attic right next to this keg right here. Put a mine inside of trophy right here, or you can put it up there on top of the bear head right there, it doesn't really matter. Put a mine on top white, put a mine for the window walk-in, and put a mine for the wall walk-in. The key to this strat specifically is playing super passively. You only want to peek whenever you hear your mines go off, and that way you can swing off of them and kill people who can't see you. Pair this up with his bailiff to make head holes for trophy, and pair this up with a barbed wire that can easily help his Fenrir mines slow down the attackers even more, and you can start to see what I'm getting at here and why this is such a lethal strategy. All you have to do is just sit lower attic right here and swing off of any of the Fenrir devices that go off to get free kills. If someone walks into trophy through either this door or the master door, you just sit behind the reinforcement, wait for the Fenrir device to go off, swing either doors, and get a free kill. If someone's pushing your upper attic, you just sit right here. You wait for the Fenrir device to go off and them to get slowed by the barbed wire, you swing and get a free kill. If anybody walks in from the breach right here to try to plant maybe behind this foosball table here, once the mine goes off, then you swing, you peek, and you get free kills. You never want to be swinging in any other scenario other than them hitting your mines. If they push the back site, like dorms and top white then you can rotate right here, and you can sit top white right here. With these head holes right here for the wall walk-in, you can cover top white, the wall, like I said with the head holes, and you're able to cover the window walk-in. Overall making the strat super effective no matter where they push. Obviously, if they're pushing dorms, the mines you want to activate are the mines for the window, the mines for white, and the mines for wall. If they don't have the wall open already, it's pretty acceptable to activate one of these 2 mines either way. If they're doing a master push, you want to obviously have this one, you want to have this one in case they get the wall open, and you want to have the attic mine activated as well. Now, like I said, if they don't end up actually getting the wall open, let's say you have a bandit, a kid, or a mute that denies that, you can use your 3rd one for top white, because a lot of the times people on top white are able to get a huge long angle into anybody inside of trophy on these heddles, which is where you're going to be playing. So as long as you play super passively and you only swing on your mines whenever your mines activate and you're aware of all of the different angles, this can be a super lethal, effective, and even easy strategy for most players to do. Now that was just 1 out of 16 different ranked maps that I'll be going over in today's video. The next map being Clubhouse. The first strategy is this defensive castle strat for upstairs CC. The purpose of the strat is to stop people from getting below control so that you can have somebody with a nitro cell deny the plant from below. A lot of people, let's say buck players, sledge players, whatever it may be, will come in through the store through stock and play below here, but more importantly, they'll play below here. You don't want to allow this to happen. But primarily, the actual purpose of this strat is to deny the default plant, which is typically about right here. As you can see, when I shotgun open this floor right here, most people plant beside this bomb right here. So if you can play castle and have a mute player, or anybody with a nitro cell for that matter, playing below, you can easily have them nitro below the default plant whenever they decide to take the bomb site. These 3 castle barricades, castle 1, castle 2, and castle 3, prevent the attackers from actually pushing your guy below with a nitro cell, which is super powerful. You can also have holes here to watch the doorway, or holes here to watch the wall walk in, as well as the rafters stairs walk up, and you can also give yourself a rotate in case you want to play lower garage and help the person in rafters. Overall, you want your 3 castle barricades downstairs. Your 4th and final castle barricade is optional, but I like to put it on the CC window, with a BP right here to watch the breach. This will help you whenever you're below and you're trying to deny the plant by giving you information on where they're planting. Overall, this castle strat is a super basic and common strat, so let's move on to something that's not maybe as basic. The next strat is this Monty push for rafters. As a lot of you know, people love to play Azami for rafters. But what if I told you there was an easy way to counter it? Well, playing Monty is the easy way. As Monty, all you're going to do is break this barricade right here and show your presence on this doorway. You're not going to push up too far, and you're just going to kind of put pressure to make the people in rafters scared. You're going to wait for your teammates to open up the main wall right here. Once your team has opened this wall, and only whenever they've opened this wall, maybe with the help of your EMP grenades just like so, then that is when you move from this door and you start actually pushing up the rafter stairs. Now watch out, because a lot of people like to put frost mats on the staircase for this exact strategy in mind. But once you're up here and the wall is open, the person in rafters is most likely going to die. If you pair this up with somebody on your door or on the wall here, now they can't even flank you, meaning that you and the person on the wall can easily pinch and kill the person in rafters super easily. It's overall the best way that I've found to reliably and consistently counter the Azami strategy right here at hand. Your job as Monty also isn't to knife the person or to shoot the person. Really, it's just to make it to where the person on rafters is scared of you so that they run away, and then the person on the wall shoots them through these head holes. But if they're not taking the bait and they're only taking a gunfight with your person on the wall, then you can unshield and reshield to scare them into thinking that you might be shooting them or knifing them, to get them to turn their heads and ultimately get this player to shoot them. You just play Monty super passively here. Once that is done though, now it's time for you to get the bomb down. Hopefully you, or at least your thermite, has diffuser. This is where the hardest part comes in, trying to get into the bomb site. Typically, you'll have somebody on red stairs contesting you, but if your thermite, who has smokes to get the wall open, can smoke off your red door, you can just easily hop in. But if you can't do that, just sitting here, holding your shield, or unshielding and taking a gunfight to just kind of passively apply pressure is also a pretty good strategy. Once you have the bomb down, you're playing Monty, so it's pretty much a free round win, and this strat can be super effective if done passively and correctly. But maybe Monty isn't really your speed. Well then maybe you should try this Ram strat. I understand that 1.5 times scopes are popular, so this one is for you fraggers. As Ram, this strat specifically is for attacking the basement. Now, the basement is really good for attackers if you can get vert correctly. As Ram, you can easily break this barricade from outside with your drone, activate your drone, and now you have vert on all of this hallway for absolutely free. If, of course, you don't hit that shelf. Ooh, went right past it. Perfect. As you can see, now I have vert on this entire hallway with just one drone, which is kind of cool. If you want to even double down on it, you can get your shotgun out right here, shotgun open this wall, and now you can even see down this rotate that's typically right here as well. But that's not actually the main point of the strat. The main point of the strat as Ram is that you want to be rappelling on this balcony right here. Specifically, you want to be looking through this chain. This specifically, if you didn't know, is called chain rappel. Now on chain rappel, you're going to just sit and bait anybody that comes up the main stairs or comes in through the bathroom door. This is really hard for attackers to gain control of. But if you make vert like I just told you and immediately get on chain rappel, the defenders are going to see that you're making vert in the hallway, and they're going to assume that you're in kitchen or in the hallway. So anybody that is on top main stairs or even bottom main stairs or in bathroom is immediately going to try to come up and kill you while you're making vert. You, sitting on chain rappel, can easily kill them for absolutely free. Once you've baited a kill or you've sat on chain rappel for long enough that you're confident that no one will swing you, you can immediately go into kitchen. Next, you'll throw your ram gadget somewhere in kitchen. Personally, I like to throw one right here. This gets all of back armory, it gets the feet holes, it gets the mini rotate, and it gets the main rotate here. It also allows you to deny anybody trying to defuse the bomb, and it allows you to see through this rotate into church. And then obviously you can put your third one going across like this, or you can use the two that I just said to go across like this and like this. But when you have a shotgun, I don't really see the need to do that when you can just make two holes and do the exact same thing. But truthfully, you really only need these two ram gadgets right here. This third one that's going along is pretty optional. Once you have good vert with Ram, with her drones, and with your shotgun as well, you should make it to where nobody can play inside of armory. This is where the fun part comes in. Typically, you'll have a teammate open up the hatch. But as you know, sometimes solo queue teammates can be a bit unreliable. So instead, if no one's opening up the hatch and dirt is soft, you can go through dirt instead. But if that's reinforced and your teammates don't get that, then you can just Hail Mary it and go down the main stairs. When you're on main stairs, typically as Ram, you have smoke grenades. So you can smoke off the hallway here and then push to the right and get kills in church, or you can smoke off the right, push through long haul, go through the rotate, and then plant for free while you have teammates on vert to cover you. Or you can give the bomb to your teammate and you be on vert with your smoke grenades and cover your teammates who are planting. Either way, getting a plant down whenever you have this much vert should be super easy and reliable for you to do. Now I've given you an attacking basement strategy, now it's time to give you a defending basement strategy, which just so happens to be this amazing Goyo strat for basement. Now, as Goyo, you want to be bringing impact grenades. I have the TCSG just so I can make some rotates for you, but that's besides the point because really you should be running the Vector. With that out of the way, let's go over the actual strat. First of all, you want to be barricading and putting a Goyo canister on the dirt door. This makes it to where if they come through dirt, they have to break this barricade, giving you a full course alarm in case they try to push you from dirt while you're doing the main strat, which we'll go over later. The Goyo also makes it to where they can't immediately rush dirt whenever they break the barricade, which is super good for you because it gives you enough reaction time to get out of where you are. The second Goyo needs to go somewhere on the left side in front of the main door here. This makes it to where if you have feet holes right here, the person in armory can still shoot the Goyo canister while also allowing the person in armory to shoot it as well, just in case anybody tries to rush down main. Your next Goyo canister will go somewhere on the church wall. Right here is typically fine. And then your last Goyo canister, as weird as it might look, is going to go all the way on secret stairs. Let me explain. As Goyo, you want to be impact tricking within the first minute of the round. If you're able to successfully impact trick through these holes to counter the Habana or the Ace, or even if you're not able to successfully impact trick, that doesn't really matter. It's just there to delay the initial hatch rush that usually comes over here. After you're done with that though, the main part of the strat is you're going to be playing inside of church or inside of gen. It doesn't really matter, you just want to be in this general area. The reason for this being is because if you get on top of this table and you put a hole right next to this reinforcement, you're able to shoot anybody that comes down secret stairs. More importantly, you're able to shoot that weird Goyo canister that you saw me place down earlier. If you know that they're coming down secret, you can shoot that Goyo canister super early, and then now you're able to hold any other place that you want to hold without necessarily having to worry about that side of the map. Once that Goyo canister has fully gone off though and they're able to push secret stairs, then you could hold this angle and get some free kills. Or, more importantly, you can sit inside of gen and hold the control of this key area of the map. But maybe they push Moto instead. Well, you can sit on this hole right here, shoot the Goyo canister, and shoot anybody that drops. Either way, super good strat. You're also, from here, if you have a rotate right here, or you just play at the door, able to shoot this Goyo canister. Maybe they're pushing down main. Well, luckily for you, you have a rotate that you can immediately use to go down here and shoot the Goyo canister. Either way, this strat, depending on where you play as Goyo, can be completely a failsafe to get free rounds in the basement. Instead of defending the basement though, let's say you're defending CC. For our final strat, you'll want to run some Fenrir. As Fenrir in the prep phase, because you have a bailiff, you want to be helping around with some general site setup. Most importantly, the head holes here, and obviously the rotate that's over there. Once you've helped around with the general site setup with your bailiff, there's two specific holes that I want you to make. First is the hole right here. This hole allows you to see anybody that's hopping in the CC window. Secondly is the hole right here, which needs to be a little bit higher than the first one that I just made. The reason for this being is if you break this chair, hop on this table, now you're able to see anybody that jumps in through the window here. Overall, two pretty good holes that you need as Fenrir, which I'll show you why later. Your first Fenrir mine should go right here. The reason that it goes right here and not down there is because, one, this Fenrir mine, it still covers red stairs, but it also covers anybody that tries to walk up top red, just in case your red player dies. You also want to pair this one specifically with barbed wire at the top of red stairs as well, just to slow them down so that anybody top red can easily swing and kill the person. The next mine is for the CC window. You want to try to stuff it in between this TV and the wall so that the people on the plat wall won't be able to shoot it as easily. You just do this by throwing it like that. Oh, it broke the TV. Never mind. I think you can actually pick it up and put it a little bit deeper, but you get the idea. That TV should also cover it if they're on the wall. You also want barbed wire for this trap as well, because if they hop in the CC window and you have barbed wire here, not only are they blind and slow, but it's a lot harder for them to hop back out, guaranteeing you a free kill if you use the hole right here. These last three traps though don't need barbed wire, the first of one being the one that goes right here. This Fenrir mine will prevent anybody from walking in on the wall trying to get the plant down behind the bomb right here. Your fourth mine will go somewhere on this door right here. This will make it to where if you have any teammates playing in rafters, now they don't even need to peek the door, making it to where they can play a lot safer and more passively. All they have to do now is swing off of the Fenrir mine and get free kills. Your last Fenrir mine is going to go in cash room. It needs to go on the construction door, just like so. Now, with all 5 of these mines active, it covers every single possible entry point that the attackers could use to get into the bomb site, maybe excluding that wall right there. Which actually, hold on, I just discovered something new. You can literally just put the Fenrir mine on this side instead, and now whenever they walk in the door, they get stunned, and if they walk in the wall, they also get blinded. So, never mind, you can put it there, and it actually covers that too. So now, you actually can cover every single entry point. Regardless, not only can you cover every single entry point, but let's go over which mines should be activated and when. Now, at the start of the match, the very first 30 seconds to a minute, you want the garage activated, you want top red activated, and you want construction activated. If anyone were to rush, these were the 3 places that they would try to rush. Now, once they get the wall open, if they're not pushing one of 3 of these places, you can deactivate one of these mines and activate the one for the wall. If they haven't opened the wall, or if they have opened the wall but they're not being aggressive, you can then activate the CC window if they're pushing the CC window. But as Fenrir, you just want to be bouncing between these 2 spots and deactivating any one of the 3 main ones that you activated in the first part of the round as the order in which you should be activating the mines. Now, where as Fenrir should you be playing to maximize your potential? Well, typically you have an Azami, so you don't want to be playing rafters. You also could play top red, but typically you have a teammate that's smart enough to play here too. So the best plan that I've devised is playing inside of cash room. With cash room, you can utilize the 2 holes that you made better than your teammates can because obviously you made them, so you know what they're used for. You can play off of this mine, you can play off of that mine, you can play off of this mine, while also having a rotate on red if you need to play off of this mine for the walk up here, or for the red stairs walk up here. Either way, playing inside of cash allows you to play off of the most mines possible, while also playing around the holes that you made specifically for you that you know how to use. With that being said, if you play passively and only swing off of your mines and tell your teammates to do so also, it should be a free round win for the defense and for this strat specifically. But now that we've gone over Clubhouse, our next map will be Border. To set it up, all you need to do is go to CC. First of all, you want to rotate into the 90 hallway from this box area right here. Because as Castle, you're going to be playing in box, this allows you to rotate out of here if they take CC control easier. An optional rotate as well is the rotate into Fountain right here. Now, the reason that you make this rotate is because if you want to rotate out of CC whenever they push, you don't want to be going in through this doorway just in case someone's on your metal stairs, which is pretty dangerous. So I like having a rotate here. Typically, attackers don't use it, so it's fine to have anyways. Next, you want a reinforcement next to that rotate. The reason you put a reinforcement here is so that anybody that is on top east or down this hallway can't shoot you whenever you're playing inside of box, which is again where you're going to be playing the majority of the strat. Finally, you want feet holes all along this wall. Because you're playing in box, these feet holes will allow you to shoot the feet of anybody trying to get the wall open, as well as droning from this corner here. Now, in terms of where you put the castles, the most important castle is castling this double door right here. Now this might seem counterintuitive because then they can easily take break room control, but it's actually not, and I'll tell you why. When you castle this door off, it makes it to where you can sit and box a lot safer, because if you don't have this castled off, they can easily get on this doorway here and shoot you, allowing their teammates to also pinch you and taking control of CC for absolutely free. If you castle this doorway as well, you're easily able to use this as cover so you can sit on this bench and shoot people coming from this doorway. Also, if you use your super shorty to open up all of this wall right here, then that makes it to where when you get on this table, you now have a long angle onto anybody hopping in the east window, the east door, or anybody on the east balcony trying to push you out. The next castle you want on the security door. Now, castling this door is very important because it makes it to where if you're trying to contest these feet holes like I showed you earlier, they can't easily walk in through this door and kill you and contest you. Instead, it's a lot safer to just hold this. Now, the last two castles are optional, but personally, I like to put it on this break room door right here. The reason you put it on the break room door there is just in case anybody tries to push up east. Maybe you're losing the gunfight and you can't aim and you're not playing this angle. Now they can't rush break room and it gives you a lot of safety. And for the final castle barricade, you want to put it on the CC window. The reason that you put it on the CC window is because you want to be able to play on top of this desk like I've been showing you the entire time without having to worry about them getting on the window and shooting you. For the prox alarms, you want one on this doorway in case you're not playing these head holes here. And you want one on metal stairs, just in case they try to rush up metal stairs and go through your rotate and kill you. You at least get an audio cue so you can contest them and shoot them just like that. Again, for the strat, all you're doing is you're playing castle and you're sitting on this box, shooting feet holes here, contesting the window if they break your castle, and if all else fails, playing on this desk and contesting east stairs. Overall, it's pretty easy to do, and it gets a lot of effectiveness out of it. Now that strat can be really complicated and have a lot of moving parts to it, but this Valkyrie strat is a lot simpler. As Valkyrie, you want to place one of your cameras on the light bulbs right here for top main. This Valkyrie camera is super hidden because from an attacker POV, it just looks like it's a part of the light bulb, and it's drowned out by the light itself. Now, if you look on this camera, you can see all of bottom and top main, and you even get an audio call for 90 Hall, which is good, but that's not the purpose of this cam. The purpose of this cam is to be able to get a nitro cell from below. If you don't know, the top of metal stairs, the floor right next to it, the floor is soft, so you can get on this Valkyrie camera, ping right here, and throw a nitro cell right below top metal. This strat is really good if you know that they're rushing and they're playing aggressively, because all you have to do as Valkyrie is place somewhere off-site, or even on-site for that matter, and you wait for them to rush up the stairs, and as soon as they rush up the stairs, you blow your nitro cell on your camera. This will give you a lot of free kills because no one will expect a nitro cell to be here due to the fact that not a lot of people even know this floor is soft. Now that strat is great, but you do need to place your other two Valkyrie cameras down. Now the second one is going to go in CC behind the TVs. You do this by coming into detention, where I am right now, and breaking open this floor right here. By breaking open this floor, it allows you to throw a Valkyrie camera in between these two metal beams just like this, and now that Valkyrie camera can see into CC. It gives great audio calls, but it can't see much. If you want it to see more though, all you have to do is come into CC and shoot the TV just like that. Now this Valkyrie camera can see all of CC, and from the attacker eye, it's actually pretty hidden. Most people will not know where this is. The final Valkyrie camera I like to put in office, specifically the one that goes on this vent right here. If you get on this camera, it allows you to see the window onto the archive site as well as most of office, and you can even get a sound call for the hallway and for fountain as well. This Valkyrie camera is great because now you have a full 360 view of where they could possibly attack the site. You have the 90 hallway, top metal, CC, and office, which is awesome. Now, as to where you'll actually be playing as Valkyrie, you should be playing below. This nitro cell here is cool for a pre-placed nitro, but that's only going to work once. So as Valkyrie, keep your nitro cell in hand and use the 3 cameras that I showed you to get free nitro kills from below. If you want to nitro them from below if they come office, you can come all the way over here on that 1 ping, go into bathroom, throw your nitro cell right about there, and you'll get a free kill. Same thing for CC. If you want to get anybody that's walking in through that doorway over there, all you have to do is go below with a nitro cell right about here and explode them. It's pretty easy to do. But as Valkyrie, you want to play below, get those Valkyrie cameras, get some free nitro kills, and that's about it for the strat. Now these two defensive strategies are great, but this attacking ram strategy is even better. This strat is if they're playing in bathroom, or really any first floor site for that matter. All you want to do as ram is rappel up to the east side of the building. When you rappel up or go up the stairs, you want to get you and your teammates to drone upstairs for you. You drone archives, you drone all of armory, you drone 90, you drone fountain, you drone office, you get the idea. Once you're actually over here and it's all been droned though, you can send a RAM device just right here. This RAM device, when activated, will give you vert for all of bathroom. It will also destroy this wall if you want a rotate, and it'll give vert for all of workshop, which is really good just for one RAM drone. Also, typically there's a rotate right here that you can watch just from this window alone, which is why this strat is so good. But that's not all. The second RAM drone also is pretty good as well. All you have to do is go into archives, put your RAM drone exactly right here, and just send it forward. This will give you more vert onto bathroom, especially on this doorway, while also giving you vert all along this hallway right here, as you can see. And with 2 RAM drones, I've completely gotten all of the vert for bathroom. Now, you have a third one that you can pretty much do whatever you want with. What I like to do personally is put it over workshop somewhere, whether it be driving it right there or driving it all the way along here. Typically they have people in workshop to stop people from dropping the hatch here in front of the rotate. So what I'll do is I'll put a RAM drone just right here. Now this RAM device, as you can see, will get vert on anybody hiding in deep workshop, as well as an angle onto both of the doorways and the typical rotate that's right over here. Overall, it's a pretty nice strat. If you have flashes with RAM and you have the hatch control, all you have to do is flash down into workshop if someone's there, or flash into the rotate, it doesn't matter, and then you can drop. You can use this rotate that's typically right here as well to get all the way into the site. You could again use flashes to get the bomb down, maybe even shotgun this open, and now your teammates can play the hatch, or you can play the hatch depending on who planted, to cover the bomb. If you have smokes though, that's even better, because then you can smoke off this doorway right here, and then you can smoke off the rotate that's typically right here, and then now you can plant for free while having vert on your diffuser, which will win you the round as long as you have upstairs control. This strat is super passive though, so you want to make sure you're droning and you want to make sure you're roam clearing properly so you as a 3 armor and as a support don't die and mess up the strat. For my more aggressive players though, as a Maru, all you're going to do is open up the big door right here, because what you're going to do is take workshop control. With a Maru, you can sit here and drone, or have a teammate preferably drone for you, as you're going to be playing pretty fast here. Drone out all event room, drone out to your right here to make sure no one's in customs, drone up metal, drone all of workshop, make sure you don't miss a single corner, because again, you are going to be playing in here. And once you're done with that, take out the default camera and run in. Typically, you'll have somebody contesting you though, so you have flashes and a good gun to get you that kill. Once you're here, the hardest part is over, and this is where the fun part begins. With this strat specifically, I like to run shotgun because everything I'm about to tell you is super close range, but if you want to run her LMG, you can do that just the same. As a Maru, get you or one of your teammates to drone up metal stairs. It doesn't matter who, just get someone to drone metal stairs. When you're finally droning up metal, take a left and hop your drone inside the glass inside of office. It doesn't matter if your drone dies, you just want to know initially if anybody is inside of office. If there is somebody, you can easily shoot them through the floor or flash grenade through the hatch if you have a shotgun to open it, or send a flash grenade up top metal. Doesn't really matter, you just want to pressure them out of this area. Now, if you're successfully able to pressure them out of this area, preferably without the diffuser, you can get your Maru gadget out and hop up the hatch. Now, your biggest worry right now is this doorway when you hop up. So I would immediately ADS the doorway. If no one's here, ADS the window. If no one's there, this is where you get to have fun. Typically, there are feet holes here, and if you have a shotgun, you can make this a rotate. Now, as a Maru, if you have a shotgun, you're easily able to swing the people on sandwich, boom, kill him, boom, kill him. You can make a rotate here, boom, and then kill the person that's half wall. Maybe kill the people here, kill anybody that comes top metal to try to stop your push. Doesn't really matter. That's why I like running the shotgun for the strat. If you have the 1.5, though, you're kind of stuck inside of armory, so you can kind of just shoot people here, shoot people sandwich, Africa, doesn't really matter. Half wall, come in here, boom, boom, throw your flash grenades in, and now your teammates that are on the wall can easily run in, get the bomb down right here, and then you, with your flash grenades and your 1.5 times scope, can passively apply pressure as they're planting the bomb like this, and then your teammates should be able to plant, and you'll win the round. It's super high risk, but very high reward. Now, if you notice that they're playing inside of small office really heavily, but they don't have anybody half wall, you can do the exact same thing, just through this window instead, and immediately ADS here, ADS here, ADS here, and then get the bomb down, flash for your teammates. It doesn't really matter. But that's 2 places that you can Amaru into. If you notice that nobody's inside of archives, you can Amaru through this hatch too. Doesn't really matter, but you can Amaru a lot in this site specifically that people won't expect, especially if you have team that can easily prepare for it. So this strat is pretty nice. This strat is also especially good for solo queue players, as you won't be letting down your duo whenever you die trying to do this strat. But for those of you with a duo or with a teammate, this ace and gridlock strat is for you. First, I'll be talking about what the ace should do, and then next I'll talk about gridlock. This is an east side take. So as gridlock, you're going to be on the window here, and as ace, you're going to be trying to take east control on this balcony here. Your biggest worry as an ace player is top east stairs, but if you can get a drone there, maybe get a kill there, Or if no one's there, then here comes the next part. As ace, get on this window. Once you've fully opened this window, you can easily ace this wall open without any contention unless someone is close on you and able to shoot your ace charge. If they have a mute, a bandit, or a Cade and you see it in the prep phase, get your gridlock to run EMP grenades so that electronics are not an issue for you. Now, if your gridlock is doing her job, which I'll talk about later, you can easily hop in here and then take control of this side of office. This is where the hardest part for you as an ace player comes in, trying to take control of office and fountain. If you can take control of offense and fountain, whether it be through drone work or whether it be through gun skill, doesn't really matter. This is the most important but hardest part of this strat to reliably do. Now, as ace, you're going to use this breach to come in and plant behind the bomb that is typically right here. You're able to plant behind this bomb safely with no trouble, and then you can back out of this breach right here and play a close angle here, or even back out the window here and play a long angle. The only issue with this long angle is the top east stairs angle here, but if you know no one is here, maybe they're both in sight, maybe just one's in sight, you can easily hold this angle for even better post-plant contention. Now, in terms of where you can put your other two ace charges, here's a different variety of the same strat that can work if they're playing inside of office super heavily. As ace, you want to take east stairs. If they have this wall reinforced or not reinforced, doesn't really matter, you want to open this wall right here, while also placing a claymore for this door right here, and maybe even the east stairs as well. Opening up this wall will allow you to take office much easier, and if you open this wall in front of you as well, you can easily get an angle onto archives if your gridlock is being heavily contested. When you open this angle, as you can see, I'm easily able to watch Africa and the doorway so that my gridlock can come in and plant, or my gridlock can come over here and I can come in and plant behind the bomb. Either way, it's a pretty fail-safe plan as long as you're able to take control of this side of the map, which, like I said, is the hardest part. Now, if you chose gridlock instead, here's what you need to do. Like I said earlier, as gridlock, your main objective is to play on this archives window right here. The reason you do this is after ace takes control of office, what you want to do is throw gridlock tracks mainly right here. This will make it to where if they want to stop the plant from going down whenever your ace plants here or here, they won't be able to rotate through this door. Now, at first, you're going to see people shooting it, you're going to see people impacting it, which is why you have 3 more that you can utilize. Another good gridlock track that you can do from this window is throwing it through both of the doorways here to stop anybody from rotating up to top metal. This will make it a lot harder for roamers to come back to site, and it'll make them take longer, allowing the plant to go down for longer, getting you more round wins. Now, as gridlock, what you want to do is you want to really be contesting this doorway and this wall if it's open, because it'll make it to where the ace can plant safe and sound. What you're also able to do is you're able to grenade over this wall, just like this, to kill anybody that may be on site contesting your ace, or maybe contesting you. Either way, you want to use your nades to pressure people off of key positions as gridlock to get your ace to get a free kill. You can do this easily if you just calm, hey ace, there's a guy here, I'm going to nade him, kill him whenever he runs away. Super easy to do. Another good gridlock track that you can do is shoot out these boxes and throw it over the shelf. When you do that, as you can see, it should hit the top of this door frame right here, making it to where no defender is able to walk through this door to defuse the bomb in case they took office control and your ace couldn't do anything about it because he's holding the long angle here. Either way, this site now should be a complete minefield for anybody trying to defuse the bomb. If you brought EMPs instead of grenades, though, you can easily help your ace get the wall open, if that's why you brought EMPs, or you can disable any utility that may be stopping your ace from getting the bomb down. Either way, it works. Now, if you're trying to help your ace take east control, like I was showing you in the last example, your last gridlock track should go either in this hallway somewhere, or maybe on east for a flank. Either way, it doesn't really matter, but as gridlock, you really just want to be stopping them from rotating anywhere as a roamer, or maybe just to flank you in general. Because this is such a small map, gridlock is very effective at doing this. Once your ace gets the bomb down, however, you want to be on this window, ready to pre-fire and hold long angles to any defenders trying to walk through this doorway to get the bomb down. You're easily able to do this. But let's say they push office instead. Well, like I said, you have a grenade that you can easily cook right here to send behind the bomb onto anybody defusing to get a free kill. While that grenade is being exploded in their face, or while your gridlock tracks are being deployed to cover the sound, you can easily hop in the window and then swing and kill the kid too. Either way, it's a pretty good strategy. With border out of the way, let's go over a fan favorite map, Chalet. As Zero, you're going to be pushing library side, so make sure you spawn helipad. The first thing you'll want to do after taking care of the default camera is rappel onto the library balcony. Once rappelled on this balcony, break the double window here. Once this window is broken, you want to make sure, first of all, when you head clear that no one is going to contest you, because next you're going to pull your Zero camera out and shoot it right here. Now this zero camera can see all of top library, which is great for you, but mainly you want to be using your zero camera to shoot the default camera, which is awesome, as well as the fact that the zero camera is black, so it's super hidden on the black wall here. They will not be able to find it for the life of them. You can use this to ping the defender on the wall and easily shoot them, or get a teammate to do so for you. But the main purpose of this cam, and the other cams I'll be going over, is the fact that it's flank watch. Once you get library control, you're able to kill the person on this wall, or if they've just backed up, doesn't really matter. As long as they're gone and you're in library, this is where the next zero camera comes into play. With this zero camera, shoot it directly right here. Not only is it super hidden due to the fact that it's a dark camera and it's in a dark corner, but just like the last one, you can shoot the camera, and now it gives you a flank for blue stairs. So as zero, you effectively have flank cams for every possible place that you could get flanked from, which is great for you. If you don't have teammates that are dead, you can get on the cams and watch flanks for your team. If you do have teammates that are dead that you know can watch your cameras for you, then now you have flank watch that you don't need to worry about for the rest of the round. But before all of that, let me show you something that's even cooler. Before you even think about rappelling up to the library balcony, rappel up to here instead, in front of the mud window. Once you're here, you're easily able to shoot out the bathroom window. Once you've shot this out, you can see anybody that's in bathroom, or at least crossing from bathroom into solar. If you wait here for a good 30 seconds, you can easily get a kill because most people don't know this angle. But if you want to play it a bit safe, then throw your first zero camera here. What you want this zero camera to do is stick in solarium, so you can get the solarium default if you don't land it in the window like I just did here. But mainly now you have one zero camera that covers each staircase, so now they really cannot rotate back to sight if they're a roamer, which is great for you. Once you've done that camera, then make the other two that I just talked about. And now we can resume to where we were earlier. The last camera is completely optional. As zero, your main job is really just to cover your flanks, but what I personally like to do is I like to shoot it on this wall, or what I'll do is the exact same thing, but instead I'll shoot it from below, right here. Either one of these cameras allows you to get a camera inside of office if you flip it, allowing you to see anybody on the half wall, behind the desk, on the bomb chassis, on the doorway, whatever it might be, but it's also good for getting any utility that's on either of these walls here. Overall, a great camera. But now you have 4 outstanding cameras that see high power positions that defenders would normally not have information on, and they can easily shoot default cameras and see flank routes, which is outstanding for you as zero player, and all it took was you spawning library side. As long as your teammate's able to get the wall open with diffuser and you push up to the display double door right here, you can easily peek, kill kids, do damage, it doesn't matter, but you've essentially done your job. If you want to defend library instead though, then this Azami strat for top floor is amazing. As Azami, like I just said, you're going to be playing for library control, so the only reinforcements that matter are this wall, and this wall. Reinforcing this wall is great, that way you can sit top library without having to get wall banged, but also you can peek off of it to get a pixel angle onto anybody on the library window right over there. Reinforcing this wall is good because then if they actually end up taking library control, God forbid the strategy doesn't work out, now they can't get an angle onto the wall right here, which is great for anybody playing in office. And finally, you need this wall reinforced, so that if you're playing inside of here, maybe on the hole next to the wall for the window, or for the wall right here, you don't get shot from the window right there. Either way, these 3 walls being reinforced are going to be very beneficial for you. But in terms of Azami barricades, the only one that really matters is this Azami barricade right here. Because this allows you to go in and out of library from this door without having to get shot from the window, but it also gives you a second thing to peek off of if maybe the wall isn't your style. A lot of people though will bring a Habana, or they'll bring grenades to get this Azami off for the exact reasons that I just stated earlier. But as you know, you have 5 Azami barricades, so you can easily replenish this and keep the round going for as long as possible. Now, unlike a lot of plays with Azami, you don't want to be playing your life in this position. You just want to be delaying as much time as possible so that they can't get the wall open because you're sitting up here shooting anything on the wall, like this. It's pretty easy to do. Now, if you want to be able to shoot the wall from this side without having to worry about the window, this Azami barricade right here is great because then it covers the window, so now you can quick peek off of it, make sure no one's there, and then boom, hit the wall. It's outstanding. But it still gives you a wide variety of ways that you can peek the window. You can peek from the left side of the pillar or from the left side of the Azami barricade. It works really, really well. If you don't want to risk them shooting you though, you can easily just move it more to the left and it does the exact same job, but better. Again, all you want to be doing as Azami is keep replenishing and replenishing and replenishing this Azami barricade right here so that they can't get control of library for as long as possible. But if you end up rotating out of library with a few Azamis in hand, I'll show you where to put your remaining ones. An Azami barricade on piano is always going to be great, but assuming that your teammates have actual brains and they put a deployable shield here, that's not needed. Instead, put an Azami barricade on this corner of the wall right here. This will allow anybody who's trying to swing piano to make sure no one's on the double door so they can deny the plant here, doesn't really have to worry about the door as much, and they can choose the angle that they swing off of rather than the attackers holding an angle and them dying. You can also optionally put it here instead. This makes it to where people rotating from out of bathroom don't have to worry about people on half wall shooting them, but it also is a double-edged sword because now people who try to plant behind the half wall don't have to worry about the door in front of them, so you kind of pick your own poison. In terms of where you should put her barbed wire, it really doesn't matter, but since you're solo playing inside of library, I would give them to yourself. One on blue stairs, and one on the basement stairs. That way you don't get grenaded from below right here, because people walking up this stairs will make a lot of noise, and that's pretty obvious, so it's kind of a waste of barbed wire to put it here. Now, this Azami strat for top floor is great, but what if you want an Azami strat for the basement? Well, luckily, there's a great one for you. Now, this strat is pretty default, so if you know it, skip ahead, but if not, stay with me here. The first thing you want to do as Azami is break a hole in each side of this wall. That way, whenever they go to get the wall with a hard breacher, the person who's bandit or cade tricking can easily hear the breach on the other side of the wall and trick it for you. But because you brought impacts on Azami, like you should have on the basement site, you can impact trick it instead. So these holes are really for you. As Azami, you want an Azami barricade right here. This will make it to where if anybody comes onto blue stairs, they actually can't see you if you're trying to rotate into blue, but you can easily see their feet when they try to knife the barricade, which is great for you. The next Azami barricade you want on the very, very corner of this table right here. The reason that it matters that you get it on the very, very corner is because it gives you this little triangle that you can peek off of for a little pixel angle onto the door, just like that. For the third Azami barricade, you want to put it on this wine case right here. Now at first, this looks like a great angle that you can peek off of, but it serves a secondary purpose. It makes it to where nobody on this door can see, shoot, grenade, or EMP anything that's on this wall if they want to open it from the door. Also, if you put it a little bit more to the left, it actually makes it to where attackers can't walk through here, but it also makes it to where defenders can't, so I don't really like to do it. It's up to you though. Now for the last two, I would just use it to replenish the other three because those are really the important ones, especially if you're holding backside. But if they end up not pushing backside, then I would put one on the snowmobile machine right here. I don't know why I just called it a snowmobile machine. It's just a snowmobile. Jesus Christ. You can tell I live in Texas. Anyways, this one's good because it makes it to where if you have a rotate right here, like you should, you don't necessarily have to worry about the wall because a lot of the times they'll open to the center of the wall and not the left edge, so you really don't got to worry about it. And it also allows you to play on the snowmobile to get aggressive picks if you want to. Finally, the last thing I recommend you do as Azami for this strat is opening a hole right here. Now, why would you open a hole here? Because it allows you to get a very, very tight pixel angle onto anybody on blue stairs. Now you can get one that's a little bit better by just putting the hole more to the left, but most people know about that and it's pretty obvious, so I like to put it even tighter. Up to you though. Now we've been talking a lot about Azami strats, so let's check out this Cade strat for basement instead. Now as Cade, you're gonna focus primarily on the walls for the backside. This is a backside Cade strat. You're going to have one Cade claw to get these two walls and one Cade claw for this hatch. Now, if you want this Cade claw electrified from a claw that can't get EMP'd or shot even if they walk in here, here's how you do it. All you have to do is come upstairs into dining. Once you're here, you can prone on the dining table just like this. All it takes is one shot from your revolver or your TCSG, whatever you choose, and now you can throw a Cade claw on the very opposite end of the table, just like that. As you can see now, both of the walls are electrified. Now, if you want to Cade this hatch, here's an even better one. All you need to do is open up the door just like this. Now, as soon as the prep phase ends, you want to throw a Cade claw right next to this wooden pillar right here. This Cade claw here will not get seen by attackers because they'll be way too busy looking at any angles contesting the double door, which is a lot. But as you can see, it perfectly electrifies the hatch, and if they try to EMP grenade it from above, it actually won't reach the Cade claw that's outside, so it's really, really effective. Now, the next part of the strat may seem a bit weird, but it's arguably the most important part. You want to break this vase. More importantly, and before the prep phase, before you throw that hatch Cade claw, you want to move the debris away, kind of in front of the door, just like I'm doing, right? I'm just moving the debris away from where I punched it. So the debris is over here. Now, once you've thrown both Cade claws and you come back downstairs, you're going to break this wine box right here. Then, vault on top of this table. Once you've done that, break this part of the ceiling. Now, if you didn't break that vase earlier, all you'll see right now is a vase. But if you broke the vase and you moved the debris, now you have an angle onto the double door for Chalet. So if anybody walks in here, you can easily kill them because nobody and their mother would expect this angle. Now, we've talked extensively about defensive strategies. So let's talk about this attacking nomad strat if you want to repel on the big window. As Nomad, you want to spawn Campfire, but when you spawn in, take a left and be very careful of the Trophy spawn peak, the Basement spawn peak, and the Solarium walk-up spawn peak. Once you're sure that no one's spawn peeking you and you take out this default camera, you can move on to the actual strat. As Nomad, you want to air jab off this basement door right here. Then, you want to air jab the Trophy window right here. And finally, you want to air jab this door. All three of these air jabs prevent the most common runouts for anybody trying to deny you playing on the big window. And then obviously, the next step would be to rappel on the big window. This strat works especially well if you have somebody pushing Solarium window or inside of Trophy for you. That way they can pinch into Solar while you're on the window, essentially getting a free kill for the person to master, but that's besides the point. Assuming you're solo, let's get on this window. First of all, you want to break it. Once this window is broken, a lot of people like to just swing this window with a shotgun, with a 1.5, whatever it is. I don't know why, but people love to swing people on this window. So immediately back up, because you might get C4'd, swung, or whatever. After a few seconds have gone by, no one swing you, no one C4'd you, or maybe someone did and you killed them, in best case scenario, whatever it might be, then you want to hold an angle onto the rotate. Usually, there's a rotate right here, and if I break this open, you can see that it gives you an angle onto the piano door. So a lot of people will pre-fire you, but you want to hold the angle on the piano door for any roamers coming back from library. Your next best interest is upside down rappelling and watching the doorway here. If anyone tries to come from bathroom to go into piano, you can easily kill them. Or I guess it would be right there. But you get the idea. You want to kill them there. If still you haven't died and you've gotten maybe a few kills and they really are scared of your presence, then you can swing into Master if you have a guy Solar and get a free kill for Master. But I wouldn't recommend swinging Master at all if you don't have a teammate in Solar, because you're going to get swung and die every single time. So mainly, just hold this hallway, hold this hole, hold a hole if it's here, and then if your teammates have diffuser and they try to plant, flash in the hallway, give them flash grenades that are going to be useful. Not like that one, or rappel in if you don't have any flashes or if you just want to let your nuts hang. Either way, this is a pretty easy strat to do because all you have to do is sit on a window. A map that I have even better strats on though is Kafe. I'll go over the reinforcements first. Now obviously you want these two red walls reinforced. The next walls you want reinforced are obviously the main walls. Now you can either have a reinforcement on the left side and head holes on the right, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter. But the main thing that I want to highlight is not reinforcing these two walls or putting head holes here. Instead, you want to put feet holes on this wall instead. These feet holes will become very, very important later. Now, as a zombie, you're going to be playing in piano if you haven't figured that out already. In terms of playstyle, you want to be playing your life, and you want to be playing here until you die. You never want to give up this key position, again, even if it means losing your life. The first zombie barricade is going to go right on the ledge of this piano wall right here. This makes it where if you're playing inside of this side of piano, you don't necessarily have to worry about this window here. The next two zombie barricades are very important as well. You're going to throw them onto the side of this dresser just like this. That's one of them, and the second one you'll put on the edge of the other one just like this. Now, the reason that you put them on the dresser and that you put them so high is so that you can prone inside of here and hold the feet holes for anybody dropping this hatch or walking up red stairs. You can also pair this up with her barbed wire right in front of the zombie barricades and right here. These barbed wire are not in front of this doorway, so that people actually have to come in front of the barbed wire if they want to knife it, allowing you to easily shoot them whenever they're trying to destroy the barbed wire. Now, your two remaining zombie barricades should be to either replenish this zombie barricade in case it is to get destroyed, or to replenish these two zombie barricades in case they get destroyed. Either way, your last two are just going to be reserves for your first three. Now, as a zombie, all you have to do is play really, really passively until they drop the hatch. Then you want to be proning right here and shooting anybody that walks up or drops the hatch. You only want to be doing this, though, if you're sure that nobody is on your window. If somebody is on your window as a zombie, you want to play off of this barricade, and you want to play aggressively, trying to shoot the people on this window so that you're able to prone right here and shoot people that drop the hatch or walk in through the door. Now, if you have feet holes like I told you to put right here, you can easily prone just like this and shoot anybody trying to get the bomb down here, or anybody walking in through new hatch or the cigar door. Either way, really good feet holes that you can play off of successfully. You're even able to put in a zombie barricade on this couch just like so, to make it to where no one on this window can shoot you whenever you're proning just like this. Either way, this zombie strategy is lethal, and because of this, it's actually pretty common, so a lot of you may already know this strat. As long as you play your life, and you play very passively, this strat should work. But let's say you want to play a more aggressive approach. Then this mute shotgun strat will be your friend. Now for the actual site setup, you want to be having a shotgun so that you can make rotates and holes. First of all, the holes you want to make is you want to break this first bar just right here. This will make it to where if you have any teammates that are playing inside of Cocktail, they're easily able to shoot anybody behind this bar trying to get the default plant down. Secondly, you'll want holes across this long bar area right here for the exact same reason. People oftentimes will get open this trash wall to plant here instead, due to the fact that people will put holes here commonly. So if you put holes here instead, well, then they can't plant in either of these places. And then obviously you want to make the 2 rotates here and here, and then the head holes along either wall here. The final shotgun hole is going to go exactly right here, or you can make it crouch height, doesn't really matter. Now in terms of your mute jammer placements, you want a mute jammer right here in case they try to drone down new hatch. And then you'll want a mute jammer on the left side of this wall, exactly right here, so they can't shoot it from any of these windows. And then for the right side wall, you want to put a mute jammer on the right side of this drone hole, as this mute jammer will mute off that right side of the wall, making it to where they cannot open this wall unless they find both mute jammers. This mute jammer also makes it to where they can't drone this side of the hallway, but they're still able to drone this side of this hallway. But the mute jammer right in front of the hole you just made earlier will negate even that. So now they can't open the wall, they can't drone through this hallway at all, and they can't drone down new hatch. So they literally can't drone sight or open the wall. It's a great setup for all 4 of your mute jammers. Now in terms of reinforcements, it doesn't really matter as mute. As long as you have these 2 reinforced, you should be fine. But a hidden reinforcement that a lot of people don't do that's very important is reinforcing this hatch. Now for this site specifically, you're able to get away with that because in a lot of ranked games, you'll have 2 to 3 reinforcements left over, due to the fact that we're in a meta that is very hole and rotate and head hole friendly. This reinforcement also makes it to where people can't buck below you to get the hatch open to make you fall and die, and they can't also grenade below you. It's very, very useful, as I've died on this soft hatch many times. This is where the fun really begins. As mute, you're just gonna have your shotgun out. Whenever they open the hatches and you hear them get on their drone to drone you, you immediately want to hide, so that whenever they get on their drone and their drone drops the hatch, they won't see you here with a shotgun. Whenever you do this, they won't be able to drone you, and a lot of times they'll just drop the hatch. If they drop the hatch, all you have to do is ADS with your shotgun and shoot them. Because of the range of where the hatch is and where they drop and how the range on the shotgun works, you're easily able to one-tap 1 armor, 2 armor, and even 3 armors. If you don't one-tap them, you are definitely going to down them, to which you can easily shoot them again or use your nitro cell through that hole to get the kill. Now, if you end up shooting them and you end up missing or you don't get the kill, you can easily go over here on this door and swing and kill them. The only issue is that you have to worry about the new hatch, so you really have to worry about how far you swing out. If you don't want to take that risk though, you can easily nitro cell right here, which will kill anybody that's drops trying to get the wall open, ensuring that anybody that drops this hatch will die. Especially if they're yinging, nading, or flashing, because they know that you have this hole here, you can easily reposition yourself to right here, allowing you to shotgun and kill 1 armor, 2 armor, or 3 armors that drop this hatch, and you're able to swing anybody that drops this hatch as well. Either way, it's a pretty fail-proof plan. The only weakness to the strat is that people can get on this window and shoot you whenever you're inside of this box. If you want to negate this, whenever they get on this window, all you have to do is hug this wall and lean to the right. Now, they won't be able to see you, which means they'll probably end up getting off of the window eventually, allowing you to pull your shotgun out and do your plan. If you play super aggressive with your shotgun and your nitro cell and you worry about the person on the window for as long as he's there, this is a fail-proof plan that will work 100% of the time, that will get you free round wins. Overall, this strat is a great upstairs strat, but once you've won up there, it's time to go downstairs. This is a Wamai bakery strat that you can be very, very aggressive with. In terms of playstyle, it's just like the Azami strat, where you want to be playing your life. You can be aggressive, but only be aggressive if they're pinching you, which, if you're playing bakery, you know is going to happen. In terms of the reinforcements, the 4 important ones are the 2 on this wall here, the left of which you can sub out for a rotate. You need the right side of the prep room wall reinforced here, with feet holes to the left of it. And most importantly, you need this small bakery wall here reinforced. The reason you reinforce this is so they don't get a buck or anybody with soft breach in general to open this wall from outside the window, allowing them to shoot you behind the bakery. Now, a lot of the times they will have an ace to do this job instead. So as Wamai, what you want to do is put a Wamai disc somewhere on this window, making it to where it will catch the ace charge, allowing you to sit in bakery longer. This is really important, and you can even put 2 Wamai discs here, one here and one at the top of the window as well, to really ensure that they don't open this wall. But if you have a duo Q teammate, you can have them run bandit or mute to do the exact same thing. It doesn't really matter. Now, in terms of proximity alarm placements, because you want to be running those, your first proximity alarm needs to go under this table just like this. Whenever they hop in the window, you want to know that they hopped in the window, so that whenever you're playing bakery, you can easily take the 1v1 on them or the 1v1 on the double door, so that you're easily able to take the 1v1 on the last remaining guy. The one weakness about the strat is the fact that you have 2 places that they know they could possibly push from. And you don't want to be taking a 2v1 because a lot of times you'll lose that. Instead, you want to be isolating 1v1s. If, because of that prox alarm, you know someone is there, you can easily take this guy out and then hold this angle. Or you can wait, take this guy out, and hold this angle. Either way, you want to be isolating 1v1s, and that proximity alarm there really helps you do that. The second proximity alarm, of course, is going to go on this double door here. You want to know if they walk in this double door, and a lot of times when you're hiding behind this bakery pantry, just like this, you won't know if they walk in, especially if you're focusing on the small bakery kid. So having a prox alarm at both angles is very valuable to you. Now, in terms of other 1 discs that you can place, you want a 1 disc for the bakery double, just like that. A second one can even go on this doorway as well. But personally, I don't like having 1 discs there because a lot of the times if they throw a frag grenade, it'll destroy the prox alarm. So instead, I'll put a 1 disc right here. This 1 disc will catch any grenades that come through this double door to try to grenade you here. So this 1 disc is even better than the 2 that I just put on this door. But that's about it for the 1 discs. Your remaining 2 or 3 are just going to replace the other ones that you threw down earlier. Again, like I said at the beginning of this tip, you want to be playing your life, which, as we discussed with the zombie example, means you just play here until you die. You never want to give up the space, because if they have this control, they're easily able to get open the wall, they're easily able to make it to where no one of your roamers can rotate brown stairs or rotate red stairs, and they essentially get free kitchen control if they get prep control as well. So this is a very, very important position that you need to be holding on to as long as possible. You want to die here, and you want to play here the entirety of the round. Now, we've talked a lot about good defensive strategies, so it's time to talk about one for attack. This 3rd floor nomad push can win you a lot of round wins. Let me explain. Now, assuming that you don't get spawn peeked and immediately out of spawn, what you want to do is go to the cocktail rappel immediately. As nomad, you want an air jab for the white window here, and you want an air jab that'll both cover the hell door and the heaven window, which goes about right there. Once you've set these 2 initial air jabs down, the first thing that you want to do is immediately rappel on this white window. The reason that you rappel on this window first as opposed to the other 2 windows is because usually if you aim just about right here, you can catch somebody lacking at the pixel angle behind the shield right here. Also, if you kill somebody or you at least make noise on this window, typically the roamers will try to come from the 2nd floor or the 1st floor to white stairs to contest you, so you can easily bait them and kill them for free right here. Once you've made your presence known and you've pressured this kid, maybe even gotten a kill if you're lucky, you're going to get off of this rappel. By this time, somebody should have ran out on you, in which case you can replenish your air jab. If not, this is the next step. You'll want to rappel on this sight window. If you rappel on this sight window, most people literally just cannot help themselves from running out of the hell door. I think over 50% of the time, usually someone will try to jump out or run out on you, which is why having Nomad is so important. On this window, all you're going to do is you're going to break it. And if you know they have a mirror, you're not going to break it. You're going to shoot it so that you can initially try to kill the mirror player by surprise, or at least shoot their mirror window off of this wall. Now, once you've opened this window or gotten the mirror, you immediately want to get off of the window. You still want to be repelled here, applying light pressure, but the main part of doing this is actually so you can bait the person that usually runs out or jumps out here. This is all just a bait to get a free kill. Once you get that free kill, you'll again use your last Nomad to replenish the other Nomad so that you don't get ran out on, and if you do, they'll get air jabs to which you can get a free kill. Now, you actually want to start getting aggressive on this window. Typically, people will hide here to try to kill you because they think they're sneaky, in which case, most of the time, they're not. You can easily just get right here and shoot a pixel of them. Or, what you want to do if they're not there, is try to kill the mirror that's typically here, or anybody that's inside of Cocktail, or anybody that's rotating from bar into Cocktail. Either way, if you just bait, but you bait aggressively to anybody that's inside either of these sites, you can easily get a kill. Also, you're able to flash grenade anybody that's top white, anybody that's in Cocktail, to get an easier kill. Either way, using flash grenades on this window is pretty effective. If you have teammates that have taken over piano control, or even better, dropped Skylight, then you can use your flash grenades to flash in and hop in this window. If, however, you can't rely on your teammates to take piano control, which you need if you're going to hop in that window, you instead want to rappel onto this window. When you rappel on this window, you're again going to do the same thing. At first, you're going to aggressively bait people who are trying to peek you, but once you've done that, you can use your flash grenade right there, and then hop in here. Once you've done that, if you have another flash grenade, use it. If not, quick peek, slice the pie, swing anybody, and kill anybody trying to contest you. The cool thing about doing this versus the other site window is you don't need your teammates to take piano control to do this effectively. All they need is new hatch control so that you don't get swung from anybody trying to play inside of Cigar Lounge. Now you're easily able to swarm this side of the map, allowing your teammates to go from new hatch to plant bar super easily. Overall, this Nomad strat works really, really well, and I definitely recommend that you start using it. It works so well, in fact, that I can guarantee that you'll need to use this Ash strat for the downstairs bomb site. As Ash, it's really important that you bring breaching charges, and I'll tell you why later. First of all, you want to open this window right here, of course from safety, unlike what I just did, and then you'll also want to open this double door here. What this does is it makes it to where anybody that's in coat check, anybody that's in VIP, anybody that's in a whiskey, restaurant, even brownstairs knows that you're going to be here, but they don't know where exactly you're going to be coming from. The name of this strat is finding a weakness and exploiting it. Typically what happens is people do not play whiskey, or they don't play VIP. So if you have a teammate that can go white stairs, you can easily hop in here and take control of the backside of the map so that you can easily hold this angle and kill people rotating small bakery. If in higher elo for some reason they have somebody in VIP, in bottom white, or in whiskey, but they don't have anybody inside of coat check, you can easily take main reception control instead. Now, if they have somebody that's on that side of the map and they have somebody in coat check, you're easily able to quick peek and hold a pixel and kill anybody just like that. You'd be surprised, it's really easy to do. If not, you can get on this doorway, do the exact same thing and kill them, or play a passive angle, you know what I mean, swing, get the gunfight, but either way, you're gonna have to take a gunfight here if someone's here. But in most case scenarios, you'll be pushing from this double window anyways, so I'm gonna focus on that. Once you're in here, you need to take the gunfight onto anybody that's whiskey if anyone's there. But assuming that anybody's not there, this is where the fun comes in. This strat specifically is meant to counter the castle strat that is typically here. What people will do is they'll castle off this double door here, and they'll castle off coat check window. If they do that, all you need to do is put a breaching charge on that window there, and put an Ash charge on this double door here. If you put a breaching charge, your feet will get shot from the people in small bakery. That's why I use an Ash charge. Use it at your own risk if you put a breaching charge. You also want to breach open this wall right here. The reason that you want all of this breached is 1, so that you can hold a passive angle into small bakery for anybody trying to contest you, and 2, so that you can get a long angle into anybody in sight. Now, you want at least 1, preferably 2 Ash charges saved up to destroy this wall here. People love to have feet holes on this wall, but because they have feet holes here, it means the wall's not reinforced. So as an Ash, you can open it. With Ash, you can use this to kill anybody that's in kitchen, or whenever you swing in, you can kill anybody that's here. Either way, having a hole here allows you to have a long angle onto anybody inside of kitchen. But that's not even the best part. The best part is opening the left side of the wall instead, which again is typically not reinforced. This will allow you to kill anybody that's on this double window. The only wall that's typically reinforced is the one that's in the middle, but if that's not reinforced too, you can easily shoot that open, and now you're able to see anybody that's on the bomb chassis. Either way, using Ash charges to open up this wall for long angles is great for killing anybody that's trying to contest your people trying to push bakery. Overall, this Ash push is great. But now that you've done this, and hopefully gotten a kill or 2 in the process, this is where the hard part comes in. If your teammate has the bomb in bakery, then that's great. All you need to do is hold long angles and hold this angle to make sure that he's not contested by anybody in bakery. But if you have diffuser or nobody's pushing bakery, it becomes very difficult, because now you have to kill people here, you have to contest people here, and when you walk in, you also have to contest people to your left. So here's what I recommend. If you want the strat to work, you have to clear anybody out of this angle, anybody out of this angle, or anybody out of this angle. If you don't, you're going to get smoked immediately. Once you've done that, you immediately want to peek the left for this window, you want to peek the left for the bomb, and you want to peek the left for the doorway and for anybody coffee. You want to overall be worried about the left more than you're worried about the right. The reason for this being is when you walk in the window, the people on the left are way more easily able to see you than the person tucked in this corner. So first, you head clear here, then you head clear here, then you head clear here, then you head clear here, pre-fire, do whatever you gotta do, then immediately turn here, kill anybody that's closer on the feet holes, and you'll get a free kill a lot of the times. Once you've cleaned up with kills and the roamers are left, your bakery person can come in here and plant, and all you have to do is go back in here and hold long angles. You can hold brown, you can hold white, you can come into a restaurant, hold a long angle in case anybody tries to rotate down red. Either way, your work now is cut out for you. Overall, this strat is amazing. Not a lot of people do it. It counters the common castle strat, and it has a lot of effectiveness out of it. If you liked those strats, then you'll love these next strats for bank. So this zombie strat is meant to where you're able to play in Trump without having to worry about the windows here, or the windows there, or even the head holes there. It's a pretty good strategy, so let's get into it. The first barricade goes right here on the bookshelf. This makes it to where you can sit in Trump without having to worry about them getting on the window and shooting you. It's a pretty good strategy. The next zombie barricade is going to go on the pole that connects the chandelier to the ceiling, right about here. This zombie barricade makes it to where if you're standing inside of Trump, you don't have to worry about that window, which is really good, especially in higher elo whenever people actually realize that there's a window there. This makes it to where you don't have to go around barricading all of these windows if you don't want to. It's really nice. However, if you go to the rightmost side of Trump, they can still see you, so all you have to do is double it up, and now they can't. I get kills a lot with that angle due to the fact that not a lot of people know it exists, so I always zombie that off if I play a zombie due to the fact that I just don't want a taste of my own medicine. Now, normally, you would have a rotate to janitor right here, correct? But a lot of the times, people will get on this window here to shoot anybody rotating from janitor. So instead of wasting 2 reinforcements on this wall, all you have to do is put in a zombie barricade on the couch. This makes it to where you can rotate safer without really having to worry about the window here. Of course, obviously, you still have to worry about these windows, but you can easily quick peek those, so that's not too terrible of an issue. What I like to do instead, though, is just barricade this off, which you can do as a zombie or any operator in the entire game. That's why you'll see a lot of castle players castle this off, so they can't just get on these windows and have a long angle into sight or into janitor. Now, the last zombie barricade is optional. You can use it to refresh the number of zombie barricades that I've already showed you, or you could use it on this couch. You put it on this couch, that way you can play inside of Trump safer, without having to worry about people on these head holes. But as a Trump player, it's kind of your job to shoot through these head holes with a long angle. So you pick your own poison here, really. You don't have to do this one. It's optional, but do it if you want to. But yeah, now they can't get on all of the main windows that they would normally get on to get to sight. Where did this zombie barricade go? Anyways, oh wait, I just realized that it broke because I hopped through the window. Oh, okay. So note to anybody watching this video, don't hop through this window if you want this zombie barricade to stay alive. I think if you don't want that to happen, you might be able to put the zombie barricade on the inside of the bookshelf right here instead of the edge. That way when you hop on the right side of this window, it doesn't destroy it. But either way, that's actually bad. I didn't know that until now. So, never mind. Now, I love a zombie on this site, but I think it's better for the more advanced players who have to worry about windows like that and windows like that. But in base elo, then this castle strat is going to be a lot better for you. Now, as castle, like I was saying, barricading one of these windows is usually pretty important. But depending on where you're going to be playing as castle is going to make a difference in which window you barricade. If you're planning on holding CEO and having a castle barricade on this double door with head holes here to watch stock, then of course you'll want to barricade this window and then just not peek the other one. But if you're playing inside of Trump like I recommend you do, then you actually want to barricade this window. So, like I just said, barricade this window here. But I would actually do it from this side of the window, because if you do it from the other side like I just showed you, then they can easily cook a grenade from the window and have the grenade rest on the windowsill, which makes it a lot easier for them to destroy the castle. If you, however, deploy it onto this side, they can't do that, and they have to throw a frag grenade at the floor, meaning it's a little bit harder for them to actually destroy it with a frag grenade. Next, you need a castle barricade, obviously, for this window, and for the other one as well, just because this window is such a huge threat, as well as this double door here. Now, I wouldn't recommend wasting a castle barricade on this window, because the chances of somebody getting on any of these windows to shoot you are pretty low in the higher elo that you go, because it's so easy to just shoot them back. So I would recommend just putting a normal barricade here. And then also, you never want this window barricaded ever, because mainly you use this window to rotate to banana from Trump, and there's not any windows that they can get on to really shoot you whenever you're inside of Trump, except for this one, but you're easily able to contest this one, so I always just leave this open. Now, this is where a lot of people disagree on where the last castle should go. Now, a lot of people put castles on this double door here, but this is really bad, because it makes it to where anybody who's coming up these stairs can easily just take banana control for absolutely free, because all they have to do is ADS elevator, due to the fact that you have all of these windows barricaded too. So you're giving them free control if you do this. I get it makes you feel safe, but all you have to do really is take the gunfight on the staircase, so it's not that big of a deal. What other people will do is they'll put a rotate into CEO, and then they'll castle off this door here. This essentially extends Trump into CEO, and if you have a reinforcement here with a mirror and then head holes next to here, you can easily hold stock. Now, this isn't a terrible strat, but what a lot of people do wrong is they don't put a rotate right here. If you don't put a rotate here, it makes it to where the people on marble stairs can easily walk up, because all they have to worry about is the head holes and elevator. And if you don't have anybody playing elevator, then all they have to worry about is the head holes, which is really bad. But this rotate adds a new angle for them that they have to worry about. If you for sure have a person playing inside of elevator though, this isn't necessarily needed, as you can just use the door to rotate anyways. But in a solo queue environment, you won't always have that, so having a rotate here to surprise people isn't a terrible idea. Now, those are 2 out of 3 different ways that you can play castle on this site, but I think both of those are actually not that viable. What I think you should do instead is put the castle barricade on the door just like this. This makes it to where if they hop in stock, which they're absolutely going to do, they have to waste utility in order to leave. And if you're in high elo, people will reinforce the right and middle wall, and they'll have a deployable shield right here. So this castle barricade makes it to where they can't get flanked from inside of stock. And if you have feet holes right here, the person on this castle barricade can easily shoot anybody that comes in stock. So stock is no longer an issue if you do this strat. If you can't do this strat though, then all you need to do is castle this off and make head holes all along right here. You do that so your person in CEO can make very high holes and watch anybody hopping into stock. So it's a pretty good strategy nonetheless, and it makes it to where they can hop in stock, but if they do it, they can't leave through the doorway. So I like this castle strat a lot more. But due to the fact that everybody watching this video is in a different rank, do what best suits your rank and what you think the enemy players are going to do for you. Now we've talked extensively about upstairs strategies, so let's go down to the basement once you've inevitably won top floor. This is a cage strat, so obviously you're going to want to reinforce the hatches. You're going to get the admin hatch, and you're going to get the desk hatch in open area. Now, when you get these two hatches, the cage claws that I'm putting down you might actually not expect. If you want to electrify this hatch, all you need to do is vault over this desk, and you're going to put your cage claw right about here. This cage claw will electrify the hatch flawlessly, as you can see. And if they try to EMP the hatch right here, the radius of said EMP will not get the Cade Claw. So it's EMP proof, and if you want the strat to work, all you need to do is ban Thatcher. Most attackers too will not come right to this desk, so it's a pretty free Cade Claw most of the time. The second Cade Claw, you guessed it, is going to be going in the desk, but this one is a bit more hidden. All you have to do is prone in the desk and throw your Cade Claw right here. This Cade Claw is great because attackers literally can't see it unless they're crouched and proned on the hatch, which they're never going to do because they're going to try to open the hatch before they do that. Also, it's perfectly electrified, and if they try to EMP the hatch, again, the Cade is way over there, so they're not actually going to get it. So now you have two hatches that are probably going to stay closed in most SoloQ ranked lobbies. You're going to let your other two teammates get the other two hatches though, because there's some site setup that you want to do as Cade. As Cade, I always love to bring the TCSG, but if you can't do that, then bring the revolver to do all the site setup that I'm about to show you. The first thing is, you're going to put head holes along this garage wall. You're not going to reinforce it because this is going to become very important later. You also want head holes along this wall too. This will allow you to get on this wall and hold angles onto anybody trying to get the plant down. Next, you're going to want to rotate, obviously. And then you'll want head holes along the CC wall, which in lower elo is becoming more and more common as the meta progresses to being more aggressive, but a lot of people still make the mistake of reinforcing this. You don't want to do that. Finally, you'll want to rotate on the left side, paired along with head height holes, just like that. You'll also want head holes here, with the optional rotate there as well. All of these holes allow you to do a lot of different things. Now, the holes that I put right here allow you to be on the bomb chassis and shoot anybody through both of the rotates on the doorway deep into server. It's a very nice pixel angle and they can't shoot you back due to the fact that you're behind a metal bomb. Now, these head holes I had you make here allow you to get a long angle onto anybody through the rotate and through the head holes for CC. So you can get a 40-meter angle all the way from vault all the way into CC. Actually, if I back up to here, you can get even longer angle, right? And you can bring the 2x on this weapon specifically, which is why I recommended you run the TCSG. So you can really mess people up and they're not even going to know you're here. Finally, of course, you have the garage head holes and you have the head holes here. Now, this is really important that you do correctly. As Cade, within the first minute 30 of the round, you want to be playing in garage and making sure that nobody tries to take garage control from you. This is so that you can play in garage and utilize these head holes and these head holes in tandem to deny anybody trying to get the bomb down when they open up this wall to get the bomb down. It works really, really well. You're able to do this for a while, and you're able to switch from this to going into vault backside to hold the other holes that I showed you. And as Cade, you're just going to equip the 2x scope and become a long angle holding menace, with the occasional nitro cell from the door to deny anybody trying to get the plant down. Either way, this strat works really, really well as long as you know which angles to hold and you don't give up garage control for absolutely free. If you feel like you don't want to or you can't hold garage control though, then all you need to do is reinforce this wall, have head holes here, and reinforce this wall so that they can't get long angles onto you. But that's pretty much the only variance that this strat needs. It's really, really easy for you to do. You just obviously need to have the mechanics to be able to play the TCSG, which is something that's a lot easier for PC people to do. So if you're on console, you might want to not do this strat unless you're good with this weapon. Now, we've talked so much about defending strats, so let's talk about this Twitch attacking strat for basement. As Twitch, you want to spawn on the west side of the map, and the first thing that you're going to do is send a Twitch drone through this drone hole right here. When you send your Twitch drone all the way through this Twitch drone hole right here, it allows you to immediately zap the mirror that is typically on this wall, or any utility that might be here in general. You're also able to zap the default camera here as well, which is a really powerful one for defenders. Once you've done this, immediately hop your Twitch drone down into the B site. From the B site, typically there's a rotate that's right here, which will allow your Twitch drone to drive through that rotate and immediately shock the other mirror. So within the first 30 seconds of the round, you already have both mirrors down. Now, typically here, your Twitch drone will get destroyed if the mirror finds it, because usually the mirror will find it after you destroy the second one. But if not, you immediately want your Twitch drone to be zapping any Cades that might be here, or any Goyos that might be here. Either way, just try to get this Twitch drone as much utility as possible. Once this Twitch drone inevitably kicks the bucket, this is where the next part of the plan comes in. As Twitch, you're now going to push with your team into the pit that they could spawn in on the east side right there. Then you're going to go into sewer and go all the way into this tunnel, and then make your way into CC. Now, from here, get on your Twitch drone. When you get on your Twitch drone, you're going to zap any electricity that is on this wall that's stopping any of your teammates from opening it and getting the plant down. If there isn't any, zap any traps or utility that may be on this wall, like fanfare devices, thorn traps, proximity alarms, whatever it may be. If nothing's there, then zap any of the Goyos on this wall, because every single game, there will be 1 out of 3 of the things I just told you to zap in this general direction. You just want to get a Twitch drone on this side of the map. Hell, you don't even need to be here, and you just want to be getting utility for your team that is going to plant the bomb over here. If your teammate's doing a backside push, same thing. Just get your Twitch drone over there to help them out. You also are able to go upstairs if your team is pushing upstairs, and use your Twitch drone to zap any Kapkan traps on doors, or get any easy to get default cameras like that one. Either way, use your Twitch drones extensively to help your teammates get into the building, because this is a very utility heavy site, the basement site. So you want to be using your Twitch drones to the fullest. Once you've done that, hopefully, unlike me here, you brought smokes on Twitch, and you can use smokes on the bomb chassis, on the rotate, on the door, to further help your team get the plant down. Overall, this Twitch strat really is to counter the 2 mirrors that I was talking about beforehand, but if you have a coordinated team pushing CC, you can also use Twitch Enter Smokes to help your team out too. It's a very supportistic strat that you can do very, very easily that nobody expects at all. Now, this strat is really basic. So let's talk about something a bit more complicated, which is this zero strat for attacking either top floor or bottom floor. It's pretty flexible. Now, I've talked about this zero strat time and time again, because it honestly is a very good strategy. The first thing you're going to do is rappel on this window here. This is the window that I talked about in my Azami strat that a lot of people don't even know exists, where you can get an angle onto anybody inside of Trump, or anybody even in the elevator hallway. It's a really good angle that most people do not know about. When you get on this angle, after getting a kill on the windows, maybe holding this and seeing that nobody's there, you will get your zero camera out and shoot it on the ceiling just like this. Once you're on this camera, you can see all of top lobby and bottom lobby. It's overall a great camera, and you'd be surprised at how hidden it is from most defenders, given that this is a semi-dark room and there's a lot of roof that they would have to cover in order to find the camera. Now, visibility on this camera is great, but you're also able to shock this default camera for the defenders, allowing you to have all the lobby information you want, and denying them any information that they would want to have. Next, get off of this rappel and go to the ATM doors right here and break them open. Once this door is broken in, send your drone just like this. You want to make sure that nobody is in this corner here, and you want to make sure that nobody is in this corner here. A lot of players, including me, like to hide in these corners for unsuspecting people who don't drone correctly, so just make sure you drone those corners. Once you drone those corners, again, get back on your zero cam to make sure nobody rotated into bottom or top lobby, and then you're easily able to go up the lobby stairs here. But wait, you don't want to do that yet. What you want to do is shoot a zero camera inside of tellers. This will allow you to see if there's any pulses or soluses or any roamers in general that are going to flank you from tellers whenever you're going up the staircase. It also has a dual purpose though, as you can flip the zero camera around and shoot the default camera right here and watch anybody trying to flank you from the white stairs. If you don't want to have to flip this camera multiple times though, you can just shoot one here and shoot a second one inside of tellers on this wall instead. And now you have a zero camera for tellers and a zero camera for these stairs too. Either way, you have zero cameras for every possible place you could get flanked and every place that you could possibly push. Now, it's time to push up the stairs and deal with anybody in elevator or anybody in Trump. Or if you're doing a basement take, now you have all of your flanks covered, so it's time to get the hatch right here open with your hard breaching charges. Either way, once you have 3 of these cameras set up, you can initiate your plan. The last zero cam for either site is pretty optional. If you're pushing up top floor, I like to put it in this wall here, just to get any info onto anybody in sight once I flip it, just like this, or anybody inside of conference from this double door. You can use it to get utility too, but that's not really what matters with zero cameras. If you're pushing basement though, it really honestly does not matter where you put this camera, just have fun with it. But, like I said, you've used your utility, it's just time to get kills now. Open up the hatch, drop down the hatch, ADS here, kill people, ADS here, kill people, and you've done your job. Same thing for top floor. Walk up the lobby stairs, kill people in elevator, take control of Trump, and you can start to get really, really aggressive and get some free kills. Going over our next map that just got reworked, let's go over Consulate. First, let me quickly go over the gridlock attacking strat for top floor first. First of all, you want to spawn near the truck here, and you're going to open up the Visa door. Or you can rappel up to the window for admin. Either one works, this is just a lot less risky. Now, whenever you're pushing Visa or admin, obviously you want to watch out for any roamers. Once you're able to take Visa and go up the staircase though, your first gridlock track, whether you're coming from Visa or from admin, needs to be on the Visa or admin staircase, just like this. This will prevent anybody who is downstairs from flanking you whenever you're doing your east side attack for the top floor. Next, what you need to do is put gridlock tracks right here, in short. These gridlock tracks, as you can see, will stop people from rotating from reception into the short hallway just like this. The only issue now is they can come through this double door, so you can put another set of gridlock tracks just like this, essentially making it to where if you throw this gridlock track a little bit more to the right than I did, they can't rotate anywhere from spiral staircase, which is really, really good for you. One thing that I also want to mention as gridlock is that you need this wall open. People that are smart will reinforce it so you can have your ace or your thermite or your Habana breach this wall, but you have a super shorty, so you really can just do it yourself. Now, as you can see, the wall is open. This angle allows you or one of your teammates to sit here and watch the door frame for anybody trying to deny the person who's planting right there, which if you didn't know is actually the default plant when people do an east side take for admin. Your final gridlock tracks should go on this doorway. It'll just make it a lot harder for anybody in the other site to contest you whenever you're going for this plant, and you don't even have to worry about the right due to the fact that there's gridlock tracks there too, and you don't have to worry about your flank due to the fact that there's gridlock tracks here too. So now all your bases are covered as long as you have another teammate that's watching the head holes here. You can even pair this up with a frag grenade to delay them from pushing, or a smoke grenade for these head holes that are typically here as well, which allow you to plant right here for absolutely free. It's very, very easy to do, and I've actually done it a lot in my ranked game, so I definitely know that it is possible, and it's something that you should definitely consider when you attack top floor. Now let's say that you're attacking the basement instead. Well, this Monty strat is actually really good if you want to rush the backside. Pause. Now, if you want to go backside and you're down to have a high risk, high reward play, Monty's a good operator here. If you bring hard breaching charges or you have a teammate that can open up this wall, getting in this room is the first step. Once you're in this room and you've cleared it out, you can immediately go down this hallway and put your shield up just like this. Once you're here, you can clear the right, clear the wall, clear the doorway, and this is where you need to have a teammate. A lot of the times, teammates will just rush through the doorway and get past you and go to the right or go to the left, but you really should tell them to stay behind you, or else they'll just die. It happens so often you wouldn't believe. But what you need to do as Monty specifically is don't even clear the right, go to the right, don't clear the staircase. If there's people in here, don't even worry about it. Just push the left and have your teammates deal with them. You're going to push the left just like this. Now, if there's head holes on this wall, which a lot of people do have, then you can use your smoke grenades just like this to smoke off the head holes. Not only does the smoke grenade make it to where they can't peek from the head holes, but it also makes it to where you can peek this doorway while only having to worry about the right just right here. Then you can push into kitchen pretty easily. Your only worries now are the head holes here, and the rotate here, and the doorway here, and maybe even a rotate here. But all of this is pretty easily able to be dealt with if you have a teammate behind you. What I recommend doing is throwing a smoke grenade just like this. This smoke grenade, if right next to the table, just like I did, will smoke off the door and the head holes, making it to where you only have to worry about 2 rotates. Typically, there's only going to be 1 person on each rotate, and you can pretty easily take a 1v1 with either of them if a teammate is on you and take kitchen control. No one is going to expect a Monty to be backside with smoke grenades to cover head holes, and a lot of times you can get absolutely free kills. So you know that it absolutely works. But we've been talking about attacking strategies for a while now. So let's go over this basement strat with Izami on defense. First of all, let's pretend that you have impact grenades. I didn't want to bring them because I want to make the head holes so that I can show you instead, but you get the idea. You want impacts. You don't actually want to waste your impacts on any rotations whatsoever though, because you're going to save them for impact tricking. Use your deagle then to make head holes all along walls that you need head holes on. One on this wall, one on this wall, and one on this wall. You optionally as well can have head holes for the kitchen wall too. Although this can be a double-edged sword because you can have people like me who play Monty and just face check the holes or smoke them off and make it easier for attackers to use than for defenders to use. It also gives them an angle to go all the way back there and get a long angle on the rotate here. So in my opinion, it's not worth it, but do what you want to. Now, in terms of actual Azami barricades, there's one that's way more important than all the other ones, and it's the Azami barricade on the top left of this box, just like this. This barricade will cover your rotate, which is huge, because a main problem with rotating right here is the fact that if they open the wall, you just can't rotate, which is really bad. But with this Azami barricade, you're easily able to, and it gives you something to play off of as well for the wall. The second most important one is the barricade that goes on the top right of this box here. This will make it to where you can be on these head holes and you can rotate in this hallway here without having to worry about the yellow door, which is absolutely huge. It allows even more rotation options than the other Azami barricade beforehand. It also makes it to where if you're playing on these head holes for the yellow door, you don't have to worry about the wall either, which is super good. It eliminates all the angles that need to be eliminated while also giving you angles that you wouldn't have before. Now wait, before I talk about the third Azami barricade, let's talk about something a little bit more important. Impact tricking. If you put holes above the wall whenever it's reinforced, you can impact trick. Now, smart players that are on attack will see that you impact tricked the first time through here, and then they'll just place their breach lower on the wall. So then your second impact will go through the drone hole. If they're playing thermite or they're using hard breaching charges, this will waste both of their hard breaching charges. Chances are if they're playing ace 2, they'll put their first 2 aces on at first, and then they'll put their third one lower. So if you do what I just told you with 2 impacts, you can completely counter ace, thermite, or anybody with hard breaching charges. Now, if you throw it through the drone first, before throwing it on top of the wall, they're gonna know that there's no way that they can possibly get the wall open, and they'll do a backside push instead with breaching tools that you can't counter. So you want to first trick them by doing these holes first and then do the drone hole. Next is the Azami barricade next to this hatch. A big issue with this site is if they open the hatch here, they can easily get vert onto anybody playing inside of pipes. But what you can do to mitigate this is open a hole here that's slight, and then put the Azami barricade on the metal bar just like this. Well, I guess we're just not going to do that. Now, the third barricade that's pretty important is the barricade that goes on this table, just like so. This barricade will make it to where attackers can't get on these head holes here and hold a long angle through these head holes, but it also makes it to where people on the yellow door can't hold through these head holes onto anybody playing inside of back kitchen on these head holes. So it eliminates really long angles for attackers that they could use from yellow door or from the back site to kill any defenders that are rotating that may not suspect them to be holding the angle. It's really good, but it also allows you to get angles onto any attackers here, and you can play off of it, which is nice as well. If you get on top of this cabinet here, you can also play off of it just like this. If you put it more towards the right, you'll be even more hidden, which is great, and it gives you even more angles as a defender, and it eliminates attackers' angles as well. But that's pretty much it for the Azami strat. But what if you want to play a more aggressive and fun approach to the basement site? Then this shotgun Ella strat is going to be super good for you. I actually made this one up. It's really fun, and I definitely recommend it if you want to take the game a little bit less serious. Now, as Ella with the shotgun, first make all the head holes and rotates for your team. Now that you've made all of those holes, it's time to put your deployable shield down, and typically I like to make it for the rotate, or I like to make it next to this box. Pretty much anywhere where I told you to put an Azami barricade, a deployable shield is also acceptable as well. After you've done that though, for the next minute 30 of the round, you're going to be playing in the back side, so you can just run away. You want to place your Elamine on the spiral staircase, place an Elamine somewhere on the Visa staircase as well, and then your final Elamine is going to go exactly on this box right here. Now, in terms of reinforcements, I have 3 reinforcements that you need to have just because you're playing back sight, and I actually recommend you put these down before you put your Elamines down. The reason for this being is because the first reinforcement is this hatch, which is right in front of a door that they can easily get access to immediately out of their spawn. The next reinforcement is this hatch right here, because if they open it, they get a direct line of sight onto you and where you're going to be playing. And then the final reinforcement is the wall next to the hatch, for the exact same reason. It's a direct line of sight onto where you'll be playing. Also, given the fact that you have a shotgun and you're going to be playing off of this door, that is way too long of a distance if they open the wall for you to shoot them back, so you'll die if you choose to take that gunfight. One more thing that I also recommend you do that I'll go over later is opening up the floor right here. Opening up the floor through these wires allows you to shoot anybody through these wires just like this if anybody tries to hop in the window, and they cannot shoot you or see you from this angle either, which makes this just overall a really good angle if they try to hop in through the Visa window. But all of that aside, what do you actually do as Ella here? What you do is you try to stop an initial tunnel rush, just like the Monty one that I showed you earlier. All you have to do is sit on this door with a shotgun. As soon as the Ella mine goes off and they're close to you, you swing and you demolish them. I've done this one again in many ranked games, and it has not yet lost me a single round. I have a 100% success rate doing this strategy. It's absolutely insane. Now, if you initially don't hear anybody rushing here, you can immediately pull your pistol out and go below the window and play here. If it's been a good minute and people are dying on that site and no one is pushing basement, then what I would do is I would come play this angle right here, where you play the head holes and watch the yellow door, or you watch the breach from behind your shield with your pistol. This and this playstyle here is also that if someone comes down spiral and hits your Ella mine here, you can immediately pull your shotgun out and blast them away. It's pretty nice. Once all of your back sight shenanigans are done though, you can immediately rotate to the front sight and use your pistol to demolish kids if you're really like that. If not though, then stick to the Scorpion and maybe honestly stick to a zombie. Now, we've talked extensively about how to defend the basement site, but we have yet to talk about the first floor site, which I think is actually pretty underrated. This is a castle strat for this site, which I think is really good. Starting out, let's talk about this proximity alarm that you'll put in the closet. You don't want to put it under the window because they can hop in this window and they have all this cover that they can use to destroy your proximity alarm, so it will go to waste. Instead, if you put it right here, that means that if they actually walk past it, then the proximity alarm will go off, and it's hard for them to retreat to cover without dying to these feet holes that you'll also put right here. These feet holes are, like I said, so that anybody inside of exposition can shoot the person that hits the proximity alarm. It's a pretty good strategy. One thing I also want to note is anybody watching this video, you don't even have to do the castle strat. If there's one takeaway from this video, it is please reinforce this hatch. I don't care. You don't have to listen to a single thing I say in this video, a single thing, but just listen to this. Reinforce the hatch, because you're going to have a rotate right here, and if you don't reinforce this hatch, they can just open the hatch from below and make it to where you can't rotate in sight at all, like you'll just be stuck. So please, for the love of God, reinforce this hatch. Anyways, with that being said, put a rotate here. You put it on the left side because it gives you all this cover right here for the doorway that a right side rotate would not give. And then put your second proximity alarm on the doorway right here for anybody trying to rush lobby. Now, in terms of your castle barricades, I have one that you should do that you might find a little weird, but hear me out. What you're going to do is do this double door here. This may seem like a bad strategy, but with the other castle barricades in mind, you'll begin to see why I do it. Your next castle barricade is going to go on this window just like this. This will make it to where if you have any roamers on yellow stairs trying to come back to sight through this doorway, they don't have to worry about anybody on this window, which I've died to plenty of times, so having this barricaded is just a must for me. Now, as castle, you're going to head upstairs. What you're going to do is actually open this hatch just like this. Now, a lot of people like to reinforce this hatch because it's right above sight, which is actually a good strategy. But with this castle strat, you won't need to do this because you need this open so that your roamers can come back to sight due to the fact that I castled the double door all the way over there. To do this, you'll castle off this doorway first. Castling this doorway makes it to where anybody on yellow stairs or anybody on this window can't see anybody playing on top of the hatch for vert. But what it also does, as you can see when you castle this doorway, is it makes attackers actually go to the left, because if you're an attacker pushing up here trying to take upstairs control, instead of giving away your position and destroying this castle barricade for no reason, you're just going to push to the left, which is where you as the castle player are going to lay the trap. But we'll talk about that later. Your final castle barricade, however, is going to go on the bathroom door just like this. The reason that you do this is because if you don't, they can get on this bathroom window and see a very tight angle into anybody playing up here, which is where you're going to be playing. If you don't do that, they can get somebody like an Ash, a Zofia, or maybe they can just shoot this wall open like this, and now they have a long angle onto anybody trying to rotate upstairs at all. But if you castle this doorway off, you don't give them the option to do that. Pair this up with optional feet holes here as well, and if anybody hops in, not only can they not escape bathroom from this door, but they're trapped in there with feet holes that you can use to shoot them. This won't work if they're pushing yellow though, so it is pretty optional, but I like to do it. Now as castle, you have a setup that allows you to play inside of console on top of the hatch with optional vert as well if you want to stop anybody from hopping in through this window where you have a proximity alarm. It's very nice. This is very high risk and high reward, because the high risk makes it to where people can kill you and then they get all the vert and they get a hatch to sight, but the high reward is that you have so much vert that you can play off of, like for the window and for the hatch, and your roamers have plenty of places that they can go to rotate back to sight, that it doesn't really matter. I personally like taking a risk, and it wins me a lot of ranked games. I could go more in depth if you're interested, but that's pretty much it. Speaking of reworked maps though, let's go over Kanal. Now, if you couldn't tell by the gameplay, the main objective of this strat is to play with a shotgun on red stairs, to kill anybody hopping in the window, to kill anybody in box, to kill anybody that walks in the breach, and to kill anybody on bottom red stairs. It's very, very good and very versatile. Your first mute jammer is going to go on this doorway just like this. This will make it to where anyone trying to drone you from this doorway can't drone you, allowing you to surprise them with a shotgun to the face that will more than likely get you a kill or two in the process. Your second mute jammer is going to go in the middle of red stairs. If you put it here, it makes it to where it can't get shot from bottom red, and it also makes it to where no one can drone you from bottom red, again allowing you to surprise them with a shotgun to the face. Now, your final mute jammers are actually optional. You can use one mute jammer per every 2 walls here for 90 and use it to deny any Habanas or aces trying to get the wall open. Or you can put one mute jammer for green stairs and one mute jammer for the sky bridge. Either or is fine, but usually if you have some sort of drone denial that you can rely on, I would honestly put the mute jammers on the wall preferably. Like, you know, if you have a Mozzie or something like that. But if you don't, then you can put the mute jammers on Skybridge and on green stairs just to really further reinforce this playstyle of not getting droned and shotgunning people. Either or is pretty acceptable. What you really want to do though is if your team, God forbid, does not have any wall denial, is put one mute jammer on this wall here. And then your final one would go on green stairs. But it's very, very easy to do. Because you are playing a shotgun though, you want to be making the holes for your team. So obviously you want the feet holes right here so that you can shoot people. You want the feet holes here as well to kill anybody trying to come from Skybridge whenever you're playing inside of radar room. You want the head holes or optional rotate here as well, so that people can stand on top of this table and deny anybody coming up red stairs in case you die or you reposition. And then finally, you want to rotate on this wall. Personally, I like to put it on the left side, but putting it on the right side is also just as good. It doesn't really matter. Putting it on the right side, though, just allows me to sit behind this desk and contest anybody on the window, so that's why I like to do it. But again, it is a double-edged sword because they can do the same thing, so again, it is completely up to you. But the strat is very, very simple. You just play on red stairs with a shotgun and you clean up kills. It's very nice and very easy for anybody in solo queue. Something that's a bit more complicated, though, is this Valkyrie strat for basement. As Valkyrie, because you have cameras upstairs, you want to reinforce the hatches. Now that you've done that, it's time to place the cameras. Now for camera placements, there's actually a few that you can put inside of the archives room that are pretty hidden. And if you go basement more than once, you definitely want to switch around your cameras in case they find one of them. The first of which being inside of this printer, just like this. Because the printer is black, it actually hides your camera pretty well, but it still allows you to see anybody in here so you can get an easy nitro kill from below. If you don't like that one though, then you can easily shoot this file right here and put a Valkyrie camera just like this. Now, because people will typically look for Valkyrie cameras all around here, they won't see it and then they'll move past the door. But as soon as they do that, that's when you're actually able to see them on the Valkyrie camera. And because of the fact that people expect a nitro cell to be right about there or right about there, once they've made it all the way here, they're not expecting a nitro from below anymore. To which you could have a nitro cell right here with this camera to use and get a free kill most of the time. If you get on this, you can see it obviously sees the double door or anywhere around the hatch. So this is more of an active Valkyrie camera, where the one in the printer is better for pre-placed nitros. But that's just one Valkyrie camera. Let's go over the other two as well. For your next Valkyrie camera, you're going to come into the radio room hallway. Now, if you throw your Valkyrie camera next to these pipes and above this little generator here, there's a Valkyrie camera. And as you can see, it's actually floating in the air because it's a bit bugged. But that's besides the point. If you get on the camera, you can easily see the hallway and anybody in radio room, as well as anybody trying to flank these scuba stairs, which is really what it's for. It's more of an information camera rather than being a nitro cell camera like the first one was. So I think it's pretty nice. It's also pretty fairly hard to spot because when you're looking for a Valkyrie camera in this hallway, you're going to be looking around here most of the time and no one's going to be looking up there. So I think it's pretty nice. Now for the final Valkyrie camera, you want one in this hallway, and I have two options. The first one you can put to the left side of this orange toolbox, just like that. Now because of where this camera is located, no one is actually going to spot it if they're coming from trench door or from metal for that matter. So it's pretty nice because most Valkyrie players put cameras that are high, so that's where they're going to look. They'll never expect a Valkyrie camera to be super low and out in the open like that. But if you want something a bit higher, then my personal favorite one is the one that goes in this corner, just like this. This Valkyrie camera will see all of trench and anybody coming down metal stairs, so it's pretty nice. The only issue is that it only sees people on the main stairs once they're already walked down. It's not really good for anybody on the top of the stairs holding a long angle, so I honestly prefer that one over this one sometimes. But with Valkyrie, as long as you have a pre-placed nitro for that first camera that I showed you, you get on your camera and you try to spawn anybody walking through the double door, and once they do, you blow it up. It should be a pretty easy win as long as you can get your cameras down without them getting spotted. But we've talked extensively about defensive strategies, so let's go over this attacking zero strategy for top floor. As zero, you want to spawn river dock spawn. Then, once you make it all the way over to this part of the building, you want to pull out your zero camera and shoot it onto the side of the light post just like this. Now, it should look like that when it lands, facing directly towards the building. The reason this is good is because if you get on it, it actually can look through this window and see anybody inside of the site or anybody rotating from Skybridge. It's absolutely great. If they end up breaking this plant right here, you can even shoot some bandits off of the wall as well if they have them, which makes this very, very powerful, as well as any ADSs that are on this wall, which is typically where they usually are if they have it Jaeger. Then a zero rappel up to the roof. What you're going to do first is make sure that this window to the site is opened. Once it's opened and you're on the roof, you can shoot a zero camera onto the metal box just like this. Now, if you get on this camera, you can actually see through the window and into server, and anybody rotating from Skybridge. It's a very, very nice camera. Now, by this time, your team should have the wall open, or maybe they at least have this door open and they've tried taking top red control. What you want to do then is come onto this door and shoot a zero camera in the top right of 90, just like that. Now, be careful because it's really dangerous to shoot that camera, so once you shoot it, I'd immediately back out and run away. And then once you get on this camera, you can easily shoot the 90 camera, and now you have control of 90 and the defenders don't. It's really, really nice. Also, if you brought claymores, you can use both of your claymores to claymore off both of the 90 windows. One right here, and one right here. Or if you brought hard breaching charges and your teammates haven't opened the wall, you can easily use them to open the wall here. Now let's just pretend for a moment that the wall is open. If the wall is open, you can easily shoot a zero camera in the corner of this room right here. Because the lip of this room is black, it's very easy to hide the zero camera and it not get spotted. So now you have a camera that watches every single possible angle for top floor without you really having to put yourself in any danger except for maybe the 90 camera. This is really good for any site executes, as you will be able to see anybody that is in the site as a defender, which allows you to easily get the bomb down. It's really nice, and when you don't need to rely on your teammates to be on your cameras, if you do it, it's even nice for SoloQ too. If you want something that's a bit more complicated and team-oriented though, then you need to try out this Ying strat for attacking the basement. As Ying, just like the zero strat, you want to actually spawn river docks. Next, what you're going to do is immediately come to the scuba side of the basement. Then immediately open up the locker's window. Once you've opened this up, you're going to hop on top of this box just like this. Then uncrouch. Once you're here, if you get on the very right side of the box, you can get a long angle when you lean to the right onto anybody inside of bathroom and get free kills, because they won't even actually be able to see you or contest you most of the time, and a lot of people don't even know this angle exists. As you can see, my bullets went all the way back here from all the way out there. It's a very, very sneaky angle that gets you a lot of free kills if you have the patience to hold the angle. But that's actually not the point of this strategy. That's just to get a free kill in the beginning, because a lot of people don't know about it. What you really want to be doing is opening both windows here, because as Ying, you have two options depending on where your team pushes. If your team seems to be doing a heavy trench push or a main stairs push, then you want to push lockers. If your team is playing heavy vert, and maybe they came down scuba late, then you want to be pushing scuba. Because as Ying, you're going to be fully cooking a Ying Candela, depending on where your team is going to be pushing. The reason you fully cook it is because it gives them less time to react, allowing the blind to go off faster and allowing you to take a lot more space, because typically people will hold very passive angles and wait for people to hop in this window, like me, and then kill them for free. But this Ying Candela completely mitigates this. Just throw it in just like this, it'll go off, hop in the window, and hold the angle on the staircase. If you want to be even safer though, you can smoke off the left, Ying the right, and then you can just hold this angle. It's very safe and very easy to do as Ying. Now from here you have two options. You can either use another Ying Candela right here to then clear the hallway, clear the door, and clear the staircase to get free kills, and then throw a smoke grenade onto the double door just like this to get a plant inside of the site if your team has vert. Or what you can do is once you're here, you can immediately just hop down the pit. Once you've hopped down the pit, what you want to do is instead of fully cooking a Ying Candela, you want to cook a Ying Candela 1 bar. You do this because it gives you the perfect amount of time to climb up the ladder without the Ying Candela losing its effect by the time that you've hopped up the ladder. If you were to immediately cook it by all 3 bars just like this, by the time you hopped up the ladder, the Candelas would have already not gone off, and then they would maybe be partially unblind, allowing them to kill you, especially if they're holding a long angle from lockers or a long angle from bathroom. You don't want to allow them to do that. By cooking the Ying Candela for less time, you're giving them more of a warning so they run away, and you're giving yourself more time to hop up the ladder so you can get freer kills, or maybe just hide inside of the shower hall once you're here. It's a very easy strat to do. Then finally, use your last Ying Candelas to clear bathroom, get onto site, smoke off the double door, and get a free plant down. It works really, really well because nobody expects this, and typically every Warden player is off site and doesn't use their ability anyways, so it's a free round win every single time you do it. But this strat can be pretty complicated with all of the variability that I just showed you. Well, this Azami strat for top floor is so easy to do. First of all, make sure that you bring barbed wire. What you're going to do is throw in a zombie barricade on the top right of this box, just like this. This will make it to where if they want to peek, they're going to have to actually crouch, or they're going to have to knife the zombie barricade. But in order to mitigate the fact that they have to knife the zombie barricade, you can put barbed wire just like this. This will allow you to sit on the right side right here and easily shoot anybody that comes up. Your second zombie barricade is going to go on the bomb just like this. This will make it to where you can even better play Skybridge without having to worry about anybody coming from the window. Your third Azami is going to go on this light right here, in the bottom left of the light, just like this. What this does is it makes it extremely difficult for anybody who's rappelled on the window to shoot you, and because they're actually on the window, they're not actually able to knife this zombie barricade, contrary to what you might think because it's so close to the window. You can even double this up as well, and now they just don't get to use that window at all. They just actually don't get to. Now, I think they actually might be able to just rappel in, and then they're able to destroy it, or they could just use a Gone 6, whatever it may be, but I love doing this. I find that it never gets destroyed, contrary to what you might actually think, so it's very, very nice for me. And then the final zombie barricade that I recommend you place down is one just like this. Now, the reason this is so good is because of the fact that this is probably going to get destroyed, due to the fact that they can easily just knife it. But if you have stacked barbed wire here, like I said, you'll at least get a sound cue that you can peek off of so that when they do destroy it, you can pre-fire them, or you can just hold an angle until they inevitably peek you and they die. Because you have this zombie barricade as well, you can easily use this to peek other people, maybe even get a long prone angle from CC onto Skybridge that they can't do anything about, which is mainly the reason that I actually put this here, and then you just win. This zombie barricade mainly you want to put last because it's more of a failsafe for the other two. If these two get destroyed, you can use this as cover from the window. If this one gets destroyed, you can use this as cover from the Skybridge. Or hell, you could even just save these three, and then now you just have 3 more in your pocket that you can do whatever else you want to with. Maybe you put one on the window to deny a zero camera or a Twitch drone on the window. Maybe you put one on the CC rack that you can play off of. Maybe you put one on the bomb chassis. Maybe you put one on red stairs for your mute player. Whatever it may be, it's a very high skill ceiling and it's very easy to do, so I definitely recommend that you do it in your ranked games. A map that's a lot more solo queue friendly though is Skyscraper. The entire point of this strategy is to extend into Geisha and hold Geisha control for some very nice angles. To do this, your first castle barricade is going to go on the Geisha window. Now typically you'll have a rotate and a reinforcement here. Now, because of this, if you ever want to leave your castle strat and go back to site, you have to really worry about this window. So the second castle is going to go on this window. Another thing you have to worry about whenever you're rotating out of the castle strat is this door right here and these stairs right here. In order to mitigate this, you can literally just castle the door right in front of you. But now that we have all of our points of exit covered, it's time to actually talk about the strat. The strat being that you have head holes here, a rotate to be able to leave, feet holes to give you an angle onto that one ping, and head holes in the leftmost wall to get you even more angles. Opening this hatch to late round is optional, and it gives you a rotate out that you might be able to use for a flank. Now, with this strategy comes a few problems. If you're standing inside of Geisha, this doorway is a huge threat if attackers get on it. So castling off this double door makes it to where you can sit in Geisha a lot safer. Not only this, but if you're trying to swing off of the head holes that you made here, getting wallbanged through this wall is an issue. So the optional reinforcement here is also nice. Obviously, you want this wall reinforced as well, and then you want to turn around and reinforce the left side of this wall. The reason you reinforce this is because whenever you swing out to peek these head holes, you don't want to be exposed to holes here that attackers can easily make, and it also gives you something that you can swing off of for that hallway if nobody's on your right. It's very, very nice. Now finally, you need to know where to put your proximity alarms. The first proximity alarm I would put is inside of Terrace, so that it covers both of these doors. This will allow you to know whenever they're pushing from this side of the map, so that you can quickly go into Geisha and hold the feet hole angle onto this doorway and be ready for it. The second proximity alarm I would put is on this bridge here. What this does is make it to where if anybody walks into this doorway, you'll get an alarm for it, and then you know to hold these head holes to get a free kill from all the way inside of Geisha. But with that out of the way, that's pretty much it for this strat. It's mainly just meant to hold Geisha control and get a lot of nice long angles they wouldn't expect along the way. Being that all of the castle barricades are very close together and all the reinforcements are close together, you can actually do all of this site setup by yourself as opposed to many other castle strats that I've gone over, so this actually can be useful for solo queue. The only issue is that castle barricades like this make it kind of hard for your roamers to get back to site. A strat that doesn't have this issue though is this Azami strat for Office and Samurai. Now the first part of the strat is the Azami barricades that completely cover up the window. Now first, you want to put an Azami barricade on the lip of this marble wall just like this. And then you want to stack your second one that you get in the prep phase on the left side of that barricade, but slightly a little higher than the middle, just like this. The reason you want it just slightly higher is because if you don't have it high enough, they can upside down rappel on the balcony in front of this window and get an angle onto the doorway. So you want to get it a little high to cover up the entire window. What these barricades do is make it to where they can't hop in the window, and if they do, they'll get their feet shot. But they also can't destroy it from outside the window because the melee distance is too far. So unless they have actual bulletproof utility, it's indestructible, and if they try to destroy it by meleeing it, they'll die. It's really, really good. Pair that up with barbed wire at the bottom of it, and they cannot hop in this window if they want to live. Now, you commonly see the setup of having a reinforcement on this wall, with optional headholes on either side of it. The only issue with this is that these angles also give attackers angles if they get control of the angle. However, if you put in a zombie barricade right about here, now you're actually able to play off of the wall and peek the window, peek the staircase, peek the doorway to your left, or peek the same doorway from the left side without having to worry about this wall at all. It's very, very nice for early round picks whenever they open the wall, but they're not quite in terrace yet. However, when they do get into terrace, then it becomes a problem and you kind of have to back up. But when you back up, the wall becomes an issue. So this zombie barricade next on the lip of the table like this will make it to where you can't even get shot from the wall whenever you back up. It's very, very nice. Because look, the wall's open, but they're not in terrace. So I can sit behind this, but as soon as they're in terrace, I can crouch and not have to be exposed by the wall at all. And I can sit here, and now I can hold terrace just like that. Maybe even back up through the window. And typically, because they'll ace or thermite open only really the middle of the wall and never the edges, it's never a problem for me to peek the left side of this barricade just to back up. So you'll pretty much be safe the entire time. Now, in terms of where your last zombie barricade should go, I think honestly it should realistically be used to replenish any one of these two zombie barricades here. But if none of these get destroyed, then one on this box is completely optional, because it allows you to sit on these head holes without having to worry about attackers being on this doorway shooting you in case they have control of Dragon. Now, in terms of your last barbed wire placement, you want to put it on the terrace door, just so that whenever you're sitting on this zombie barricade, you actually know when they're pushing terrace, because like I said, it's so important to back out when they take terrace control. If you do this strat, it should be an easy win for Office and Samurai. But a site that's not so easy to defend is bedroom and bathroom downstairs, where you'll be able to have invisible cade claws, as you can see, that the attackers can't find. In order to do this strategy, you need these two walls right here reinforced, obviously, because if they open it, they get a huge line of sight into the rotate and in the bathroom and a free plant. It's very, very bad if they open this wall. So, to keep it closed, all you have to do is come upstairs, and when you come upstairs, go into lounge, break the radio, prone on top of the floor next to the futon, break this yellow pistol with your revolver or with your TCSG, whichever one you're running, then throw your cade claw underneath the futon on the very left side, just like this. This cade claw, as you can see, completely electrifies both walls, and I guarantee you attackers will not be able to find that for the life of them. Now, the next thing you're going to be cade clawing is this hatch. What you'll do is you'll open up this drawer next to the hatch and throw your cade claw inside. This cade claw is protected by the other door of that drawer, and it perfectly electrifies the hatch, and if they try to EMP over here on the hatch, they won't be able to get the cade claw, and unless they're actually standing right on top of the hatch, then they can't see the cade claw, and chances are they're not going to stand on the hatch because it's electrified, so they're not getting this hatch open. As you can see, this is what it looks like from downstairs. They will not be able to get that cade claw, so it's just a free round win if you want to keep walls closed with cade downstairs. It's a very nice strategy. But we've been talking about nothing but defensive strategies. So let's go over this zero strat for attacking black stairs on karaoke. Now, first of all, the objective of this zero strategy is attacking black stairs for karaoke, so you want to make sure that you're spawning on helipad. Then, whenever you're here, you're immediately going to take bathroom control by breaking this window and then throwing your drone inside of bathroom, droning out all of bathroom, making sure it's clear, and then droning all of restaurant and its hallway. Once you've done this, you can hop into bathroom, get on your camera, and shoot a camera inside of the little wine cellar, just like that. Once you shot that camera, go back into bathroom, get on your camera, and now you can see anybody trying to flank you from the hallway, or anybody trying to flank up the main stairs, or any roamers behind the bar. You can pretty much see everybody. It's a really great camera. But this camera's just a flank camera, and it only scratches the surface of the power of the strategy. Because next what you want to do is immediately get on your camera, see if anybody's here, then get back on your drone and drive it into barbecue to make sure no one's holding the angle whenever you swing this doorway. Because your next move is going to be swinging that doorway and getting a camera somewhere like right there into barbecue quickly before you get shot. This camera will allow you to see anybody in barbecue that may be flanking up your black stairs. So now, as a player, you have all the flank cameras you'll need. One for barbecue and its doorway, and one for every hallway leading to your staircase. Now, Zero is really good for flank cameras, but you can do all of that with drones. What Zero is better at, though, is getting aggressive cameras like this one at the top of black stairs. This camera allows you to see anybody top black or in the hallway that might be able to contest you whenever you walk up and try to go through the rotate. If you get on this camera immediately, because of how black the actual surface of the camera is, contrasted with a brown roof, it's pretty hard to see this camera, so if you immediately get on it, you'll be able to see them before they'll be able to see the camera and shoot you. So all you need is the quick info, then you can get off and take the space. Hopefully by now you also have a teammate on this door that can help you with some cross angles. And then once you're at the top of the staircase, the final camera that you'll throw out is inside of Tea Room, right about there. Just anywhere in the on the ceiling doesn't really matter, because initially you're going to get on this camera and make sure no one is on both of these doorways into Tea that can contest you whenever you peek the hallway to then go into the rotate. It's very, very important that you get these two aggressive cameras so that you don't die to an angle, or you're able to get kills if there's someone holding an angle, to then be able to open this wall or go through the rotate. Once you've cleared that out and the wall is open, hopefully because of a rotate or your hard breaching charges, then you can go into sight and get the bomb down right here. If you pair this up with the camera in T that can watch both entrances from the hallway, then you know nobody can flank you and try to deny your diffuser without you knowing. But they can always come up black stairs, which this camera can now see as well. Well, what if they come up main stairs? Well, the first camera can see anybody coming up main stairs. So as you can see, we've created a pretty safe planting environment for the karaoke default plant, as long as you have a teammate in your hallway or somebody watching your cameras that you can swing off of for information. This is what I've noticed a pretty aggressive strategy on Zero, as long as you have a teammate pushing blacktop, which is pretty common. So if you see a teammate pushing blacktop, I definitely recommend you try out this strat if you want to get a quick and easy bomb plant down. Something that's even quicker, though, is the send strategy for attacking the exact same bomb site, except this time you'll be attacking from top black instead of bottom black stairs. Now, because you're pushing blacktop, you want to spawn helipad, as it is the closest spawn to where you'll be pushing, which is the balcony right there. You want to, of course, rappel up to this balcony, making sure, as your only weakness to the strat, that nobody runs out of this window as you're breaking open this door. Speaking of breaking open the door, let's break it open. A cool thing about sends is that they can easily do this without having to worry about reloading after the barricade in case they try to swing you. So you can break open this barricade and hold the angle for anybody trying to bait your reload. Once you've done this comes the hardest part of the strat, which is clearing out top black and the corner right here. But luckily Sens now has frag grenades, so that they can grenade the shield here, or even better, grenade the corner here. If you want these grenades to explode even sooner, make sure that when you throw the grenade at the deployable shield that it hits the ground first. Because if you didn't know, when you throw a frag grenade at the floor, it will actually explode faster than if you were to throw it at somewhere else. So throwing it at the floor as soon as possible in your grenade arc will actually make it explode the fastest. That aside, though, hopefully now you've cleared the shield and you don't have to worry about anybody on the black stairs, in your corner, or on the rotate here. The hardest part is over. Now as Sens, you want to cut off any angles in the hallway that might contest you from getting to point A all the way to point B, which is the rotate here. Because if you didn't know, typically there might be head holes here, there's a doorway here, a rotate here, maybe head holes here, a doorway here, head holes here, a doorway here, a doorway here, a wall here. There's just a lot of angles. As Sens, it takes one device and a smartly timed push to completely get rid of all of this, though. All you gotta do is roll it to the right side of this doorway here from your doorway, just like this. As you can see, all of those angles are gone, and if a defender tries to push through the smoke, they can't, because there's a smoke wall here. If they try to push through this doorway, they have to go through 2 layers of smoke. The only place they could possibly push and hold an angle from is the wall right here, but even then, that will still be obstructed by partially the Sens wall, depending on how much to the right or to the left the holes are, so it doesn't really matter. Now that you're on this rotate, you can easily make your way into the site where you can plant. Now the issue here is that they can come into your hallway, or they can come into your rotate to deny your plant. One easy Sens wall that can counter a lot of these angles is the Sens wall right about here. This Sens wall will cover any head holes and the doorway as you get the plant down, and because you put it so close to the wall, if they try to run through the door, you can easily shoot them whenever they try to deny your plant. As you get the bomb down though, whenever you try to leave, your only issue is the rotate right there. But typically there's a bomb chassis here anyways that makes it to where the only possible way they can kill you is if they get a lucky pre-fire through the tiny gap in the bomb in the wall, which should not be an issue. Now your third Sens should be saved in case you need to use one of the 2 Senses that I just gave you again, maybe because you couldn't get the pushdown or they're pre-firing through the smoke. One thing that I do want to note though is a lot of people might think, well, you should just send right here instead, and now they can't peek any of the angles instead of that complicated zigzag pattern. The issue with using smokes close to you with any operator really is that they can get super close to the smoke without you seeing them. So as soon as the wall goes down like this, they can be on this doorway ready to kill you just like this. So that's not a good idea. A good rule of thumb with sends or any smoke grenades for that matter is that you want to put the smokes as close to their angle as possible and as farthest away from you as possible so that that can't happen and they can't gain free space. Moving over to one of the most popular maps in Siege, let's go over Coastline. Now the first zombie barricade you want to put on the side of this wall right here, exactly in the middle. The reason you do this is so if anybody tries to rappel on this window as an attacker, they can't actually see you whenever you're on the rotate, which is really, really powerful. I kill a lot of people from that angle, so the ability to completely counter it is very, very nice. And no, they can't melee this from outside the window. That one I actually did make up myself, along with the next one that I'm going to show you, which is the one that you put right at the tip of this triangle, just like that. I posted these zombie barricades like a year or 2 ago when a zombie first came out on TikTok, and the videos blew up. So I actually did make that one and this one here, but the last 3 are pretty known throughout the community, and I didn't make these ones up. The first of which being the one that you put on the pink bar right here. That one does the same thing that the first zombie barricade does, where it essentially protects the rotate here from anybody inside of Aqua instead, which is pretty powerful for you. But also, if you are rotating and you want to contest Aqua, you're able to play off of this barricade just like this, and you can get a lot of free kills off of it. It's a really, really good barricade. Now, we know how commonly they'll have the rotate here, a reinforcement here, along with head holes all along that wall there. That's pretty common. The only issue with this here, however, is if you have somebody in Aqua as an attacker, they now have a deep angle on anybody rotating into Hookah from the Cool Vibes rotate. To mitigate this, you can easily put in a zombie barricade on the bomb chassis right here. Now, you may be thinking this is bad because it gives them cover to plant behind the bomb chassis, but that's not really that big of an issue, due to the fact that you're easily able to rotate behind this zombie barricade here and deny it if you need to. But it's kind of a double-edged sword for the reasons that I highlighted earlier, so if you don't want to, you can just get rid of it. And then finally, as a zombie, you want some barbed wire for the Cool Vibe stairs, and you want barbed wire for the 90 hall in case they try to go from the VIP door or from 90 to rush anybody playing inside of Vase. Now, as a zombie, you're primarily going to be playing inside of Hookah, due to the fact that you need to be able to throw that a zombie and that a zombie from the rotate here, and due to the fact that all of these zombie barricades are protecting this rotate, so you kind of want to be playing off of it to get usefulness out of it. You can also quick peek this barricade just like this to kill anybody on the window, or if you want to, you can save your last and final zombie barricade and put it right here on the ledge of this table to make sure that nobody on the doorway can shoot you while you're playing behind the bar. It's overall a great strategy, and it's super easy to do, and it's super easy to be good at when you do it. Now, let's say that you want an attacking strat instead. Well, as Flores, there's a strat that you can do super easily. What you want to do initially is go onto the roof right above Hookah if you're attacking Hookah. Then you're going to throw a drone into this AC vent right here. The reason you drone this initially is to make sure that they don't have a mute gemmer or a Mozzie pest that can get rid of your Flores drones. Once you've droned this and you've made sure that there isn't one of those 2 things here, or you've droned it from maybe bottom sunrise instead, which I actually recommend more, then get on your Flores drone. Once you get on your Flores drone, you're going to drive it through the exact same AC vent just like this. You're going to drop it down, and you're immediately going to destroy the shield that is typically right here. You can do this within the first 30 seconds of the round, and as you can see by that explosion, it will get any player or deployable shield that typically sits on Vase, allowing you to have a lot better of an angle when you're playing on the Hookah balcony. Due to the fact that a lot of people don't even know that this AC vent exists, or they won't expect a Flores drone coming from it, you will 9 times out of 10 get this shield for absolutely free. If, however, they do have utility blocking you from being able to do that, you can easily just get a Flores drone right here on the staircase, and you can just send it in just like this, get off the Flores drone, and it will drive ahead straight like that until it runs into something, and it will explode. I don't recommend this method because it makes it a lot easier to shoot due to the fact that it will only go into its explosive mode, as you can see, after a few seconds, so I actually recommend getting on it. And if you want to get on it, the safest path that you can take as Flores is to immediately jump and hit a sharp left, so they can't shoot it. Go all the way around the couch, hug this wall, and then immediately jump and blow it up. This will make it to where nobody will be able to shoot it due to the fact that the person behind this bar, as you can see right here, isn't able to shoot it until it comes in the door, but they won't have time to react to that. And then the person in vase can't even see it unless it's by the door, but again, they won't have time to react to that. So either way, you will be able to get the shield for absolutely free, which again is the primary purpose of this strat. Now, let's say that they have zombies over here like I just showed you, or maybe they have a player behind the bar. Well, if you rappel back up to the roof, as you can see, there's another AC vent right here, just like the one that we talked about earlier. You can easily send a Flores drone down the AC vent, and as you can see, that vent is right above where players love to play. So what you can do is have a teammate playing on top of the door, and then you can flash grenade through there, send a Flores drone through there, and then you putting a Flores drone through this will force them, as you can see, to get out of there, and then your player right here can easily shoot them as they're running away. So either way, they're going to die, and you can get a free kill doing this. You can also, again, go through the vent all the way to the zombies over here, which is a great strategy as well. But playing Flores and using the 2 vents like I just showed you is a great strategy to get any deployable utility, especially if you know that they are bringing some for the hookah bomb site. Now, if you won the hookah bomb site, it's time to move down to kitchen, where this Aruni get strategy will be your best friend for winning any bomb site down here. As Aruni, you want to start out by helping your team with the site setup, due to the fact that, as you can see, you have a bionic arm that can easily make holes. Now, as you can see with Aruni, I've made the typical feet holes, rotates, and other feet holes here. But there's one thing that you want to do as Aruni, hole-wise, that you might not know you should do, and that's making a rotate on the right side of the triple wall. Now, the purpose of this rotate I'll go over later, but just know that you need it for right now. Due to the fact that attackers can also utilize this rotate if they, God forbid, get control of the reception desk, then you can put an Aruni gate on it as well. This will make it to where you can freely use the rotate as you please, but they can't unless they burn some sort of utility which will make noise, so you'll be aware that it's happening. Now, you can bring barbed wire or a bulletproof camera, but personally, I like the BP for this site. There's 2 options. You can either reinforce this wall and put the BP on the reinforced wall. This, of course, will be facing anybody going into surface, allowing you to get drones from the service door or from bathroom, which is pretty good. Or you can come into kitchen and you can pop up on top of the counter here and put it right here. If you get on this camera, it allows you to see any drones coming through that drone hole, and it allows you to see any drones coming in through the feet holes or the door here. Overall, either or works. Now, in terms of your Aruni gates, these are pretty optional, but I definitely like to have one on the bathroom door, just because this is very common for attackers to abuse because a lot of people forget to hold the bathroom. And then I like to have one on the kitchen window. Now, the reason that I put one on the kitchen window is because a lot of times attackers will rush or they'll play Ying, and then they'll just hop in this window for absolutely free, uncontested, and get free kills in a really fast-paced meta. So putting in a Aruni gate here allows you to at least get some sort of audio call that they're about to do this, so that you can hold the angle and get free kills and not make it so easy for them to just hop in. So I love putting in a Aruni gate here. You can put it on this door right here to sunrise as well. Either or works. This personally though is just my favorite. So now we've gone over all of the site setup, and I want to explain one thing. Why did I put 2 reinforcements here and a rotate here? Well, the reason that you put a rotate here, if you haven't played in high elo or watched a lot of Pro League, is because you typically want a deployable shield right here to face the reception double door. The entire purpose of having a rotate is so that the person behind the shield can rotate back to site, because you want to be holding reception for as long as possible. Otherwise, they'll take bathroom control, they'll get the triple wall control, they'll get hallway control for absolutely free, and it makes it to where roamers can't get back to site and people on site are completely stuck. So holding control of reception is a pretty underrated tip that I think you should be doing if you have a duo. If you don't have a duo though that has a shield that you can rely on, then just play behind the desk, play behind the wall, or maybe just don't put a rotate there at all and save your Aruni gate for something else. As a Aruni, you can abuse angles that they might not know about with your DMR due to the fact that you're a 3 armor with a 1.5 times scope. Angles like this one on the bomb chassis that allow you to see the service door. The retake angle here with the feet holes that deny the common plant in the corner there. Or maybe you can surprise them by going through this rotate and shooting people in the hallway, due to the fact that they'll probably be expecting you to come through the bathroom door instead. I got a lot of kills with this specifically. You're even able to sit in courtyard and shoot anybody coming in from the kitchen door if you're trying to contest them and you don't win the gunfight. So overall, with Aruni, just hold angles, do this site setup, and you should win a lot of kitchen defenses as long as your teammates don't reinforce this for you. But that's enough for defense. Let's do this attacking Osa strategy for hookah in case you don't like playing Flores. Given that Osa has frag grenades now, you should definitely try this strat out now that she can do this. Firstly, you want to spawn poolside. Then you want to run all the way up to the hookah stairs and use your Osa shield to destroy the barricade just like this. Now, you don't necessarily need to deploy your shield on the doorway, you just want to use it to break the barricade, because somebody in the corner of hookah can easily knife your shield, and now it's just gone to waste. Instead, you want to back up with your OSA shield until the people on the window can see you, which is about here. You don't want them to be able to see you, so I'd put my OSA shield about right here. Now people are able to play on the staircase behind your OSA shield, or even they're able to rappel on this wall here and do the exact same thing. But at least this way, they don't have to worry about the window as much because they can just duck. It's a pretty nice OSA shield. But like I said, your teammates are going to use this, not you. This is specifically for your teammates. So what you're going to do is place that shield down and immediately go over here. Once you're here, rappel up to the side of the building, just like this. Then upside down rappel. Pull out your shield and deploy your OSA shield upside down on the hookah window. Now wait, before you fully deploy it, I want you to fake deploy it, because a lot of people will play a zombie for this site and they'll have impacts for your OSA shield. You want to bait this out mid deploy. You can deploy just like that, fake deploy it just like that, fake deploy it, bait out the impacts. Once you've done this, then put it on. Now, you're going to normal rappel just like this. Go down, and you have a nice pixel angle just like this that can see anybody rotating into hookah, anybody on the hookah bar, or anybody on the vase door, or anybody for that matter trying to kill you from the rotate on the cool vibes. Overall, a great pixel angle, and you can really hang out on this window the entire round. Pressure from this window, mixed defenders have to play a lot differently and a lot more passive, so you just being here, even if you don't get kills, will help your team out a lot. Make sure you don't have diffuser, because your teammate playing behind that shield is going to come in and plant right here if they have a brain, and you can just sit back and watch it from afar. It's a pretty good strategy for passive players with maybe not the best aim. Now finally, for my advanced players, I want to go over a castle strat for penthouse and theater for anybody that may have won the first two sites on defense. First of all, I want to clear up some misconceptions about this site. First of all, for the site, VIP control is crucial, so you want these two walls reinforced as well as a rotate on the left side of this wall. That way you can easily rotate in between sites and still maintain VIP control, because if you don't, they can easily get an angle from the wall all the way into the site, and you don't want that to happen. If you put a reinforcement and head holes next to this rotate, it allows people in VIP to contest the window, or people in penthouse to contest people in VIP, and vice versa. It's a great strategy. Now, if you don't accidentally shotgun out the dresser like I did, the dresser becomes a great point of contact to use to hide from the double window whenever you're rotating, which is why I recommend you put it on the right side and not the left side like that. Another misconception about this site is that you need these walls here reinforced. You actually don't. You want to rotate on this wall here. Now, this rotate allows people inside of theater to be able to contest the 90 hallway, which is typically dominated by attackers. But if you have a deployable shield here, or maybe you're just aggressive, you can easily take control of this power position away from the attackers. Given that you also have a teammate playing in luggage for the white stairs walk up, it's very easy for you to do this. Finally, what you want is a reinforcement here, which you may think is basic, but a lot of people will reinforce next to it. That's not what you want. Instead, you want head holes next to this reinforcement, because if you don't do that, people can get on the VIP window and easily shoot you from the rotate using head holes here that they could makeshift themselves. So this reinforcement is very powerful, not only because of that, but because you can peek off of it and contest the wall if they open it. This reinforcement as well allows people to play off of this reinforcement and not have to worry about the 90 hall. They can easily still use the head holes if they want to for the door right there. But that won't really be an issue for you, because your first castle barricade is actually going to go on this double door. If you combo that up with a rotate into hookah somewhere like this, it makes attackers think to funnel into hookah instead of wasting utility and time destroying this castle barricade, which is great for you, because now as a defender you can easily hold long angles onto the hookah door and not necessarily have to worry about that door. If you pair this up with holes just like this, now you as the 90 player, or as the person behind this reinforcement, can easily watch people using the rotate that you baited them with. You're also able to put a bulletproof camera just like this. This, for obvious reasons, allows you to destroy any drones coming from anywhere on this side of the map, or on the left side of the map for that matter as well. Your other castle barricade will go on the double window just like this, for obvious reasons. It just makes them have to waste a little bit more utility to take control of this big window. Now you also want feet holes all along the bathroom wall, just like that. Once you've done that, you're going to castle off the door just like this. This makes it to where if you're sitting in VIP or in Hall of Fame, you can easily shoot anybody that drops in the closet, and because you castled off their doorway, they can't even escape. They're just stuck there and they're probably going to die. It also makes it to where you can rotate in this hallway without having to worry about the double window that they can use through this doorway, because it's castled off. You also want to make sure that the wall next to your rotate is reinforced. This is so that when you're rotating, you don't have to worry about somebody trying to shoot you through the wall when they're on this doorway here. Your final castle barricade is pretty optional. I like to put it on the window just like this. This is because if you don't, they can easily open up this wall here, and now they have a long angle into VIP and into this site. But with this castle here, they don't get that. Like I said, it's a pretty advanced strat, and you really want to make sure that you have good teammates that know how to set it up with you for you to be able to do anything with it at all. But if you can do all of that, then this strat will win you every single round that you go to Penthouse because enemies don't have the brain to counter it. For our next map though, let's go over Theme Park. Now first, you want to reinforce these two walls. Now contrary to what you might think, you're not actually going to be K-tricking this wall and having a bandit or a mute get this wall. You're doing the opposite. You're going to put two K's on this wall and let the bandit or mute put their stuff on those walls. This might seem really bad, but I'll show you why it's really good. Because your first Kid Claw is going to go in this top right corner right here. Now you may be thinking, can't they just shoot it from vert? Well actually no, because all of this, you're right, is wooden. But the floor panel above the actual Kid Claw is concrete, so they can't get above it. And even if they're on this wooden floor here, they can't actually see this Cade Claw, so they won't be able to shoot it or destroy it. The second Cade Claw, though, is even more hidden. All you have to do is prone right here and shoot it into the underside of this desk, just like that. Now, as you can see, both sides are electrified, and the last place you're going to try to EMP whenever you're playing Cade is the bottom left right here and the top right here. So it's very, very nice. And with the introduction of the new operator Turborao, or however you pronounce their name, bandit tricking on these walls is actually more viable than Cade tricking in my opinion. So this strat is even better in the new season. There's nothing particularly crazy about this strat. You can easily pick up a Cade Claw and redeploy it if you're trying to trick, or you can shoot open this right here and get on top of the box to shoot anybody on the staircase, or you can use it to just throw a nitro cell just like this to kill anybody on the other side. Doesn't really matter as long as you don't hit the ceiling like I did. Pretty simple strat, so let's go over something a bit more complicated. That being this really nice castle strat for initiation and vault. Now the whole point of this castle strat is to protect any players that are coming through the hallway, and it's to apply a lot of pressure onto the people trying to push cash door. Your first castle barricade is going to go on this double door right here. The reason that you do this is so they can't get on that window right there and get a long angle onto anybody playing on the mirror right here, or the head holes that are right next to it. Overall, it's a great castle strat as long as you have another rotate option right next to it, which would be this rotate right here. The reason you put it on the left side is so that the people on the window can't shoot anybody that's trying to rotate right here. It's really, really nice, and as long as, you know, you don't lose the gunfight when you cross the window, this rotate strat is not bad at all. The only issue is that you'd have to worry about people on the cash door when you're trying to make this rotate. Something to put a lot of passive pressure on this cash door, though, are these head holes that you'll put just like this. These head holes allow for you to be inside a vault or inside of the 90 window or deep inside of the reception and initiation door to get an angle onto cash, which puts a lot of pressure on them so they can't peek anybody trying to use this rotate. If you put a head hole here like I accidentally did, I just realized that you can get an angle onto this window for free too, which is pretty nice. But it's a double-edged sword because they can use that on the window to see anybody on the door, so do what you want. If you pair these head holes up with a reinforcement next to each head hole, one right here, and one right here. This allows you to be able to peek off of the head holes a lot safer, while also not giving them as many angles they can use if they have a soft breaching tool like Ash or Zophia's charges. Now obviously, because you're playing castle, you have a lot more to put down, so hopefully you're not the one having to make all of this site setup because we still have 3 castles to go over. The first castle being the one on the bathroom window, just like this. The reason you put it on the bathroom window is so again they don't get a long angle onto this rotate or anybody playing off of this head hole. It's really powerful for you while also allowing you to rotate in the bathroom without having to worry about the window in the first place. Your third castle is going to go on this double door like we talked about earlier. Now this does make it to where you are limited in your rotate options, but what I like to do is put a rotate right here instead of just head holes so that you still get the same rotate options while allowing you to get an ability to peek people at the same time. And because this rotate is so far away from the door, it's not like they can run in and utilize it without dying in the process. It's very, very nice. This castle barricade also gives you more cover if you want to maybe not have this castle barricade because you want to rotate with this door instead of this rotate, and it also still covers anything that this window would provide in terms of attacker angles. Personally, I wouldn't recommend having both here. You can do one or the other, but if you have both, it doesn't really matter as long as you have somebody in Top Dragon or Initiation to support you. Your next castle can go actually on the bunk door. This may seem a little bit weird, but let me explain. The reason you put a castle on this door is because instead of having a rotate through that door, you're gonna have a rotate through this wall instead. The big difference about rotating through the door and through the rotate here is because you're gonna have a prox alarm on the arcade machine. If you have a prox alarm on the arcade machine and they walk in the door right after, it gives you a lot less reaction time than if they were to trip the proximity alarm and have to walk all the way to this rotate, because typically you'll have somebody playing inside a break room or inside of bunk room, so this just gives them more of a reaction time to then look at the rotate if they're playing off of it. If you don't have a reliable teammate though, this isn't as good, so you know, do what you will. Now if you've ever played on this site, you know that they can easily get a thermite or an ace charge on this wall to break this wall, so if you have denial, it doesn't actually matter. So if you have a shotgun, you can easily just open this wall up like this and prevent that from actually happening. But because you've done this, it opens up a long line of sight from people on this window into the hallway, which is really, really bad for your roamers. So personally, I like to put my last castle barricade on this window. Now again, you shouldn't have to be doing all of this site setup. I really hope you don't. And that's why this is more of an advanced strat, because hopefully you have reliable teammates that can do some of the site setup for you. But if you don't, good luck. But for the final prox alarm, I like to put it on the cache door, or if you have a mirror for that information, you can put the final prox alarm on the dragon stairs. Either way, it works pretty well. But as you can see, we've extensively talked about defensive strats. So let's go over this attacking strat. For this, you're going to select 0, and you're going to spawn on the west side of the map. What you want to do is immediately come over here and break the bottom arcade window. Once you do this, shoot a 0 camera on the pole that connects the UFO to the ceiling, just like this. This 0 camera will let you watch all of top and bottom arcade, as well as the staircase and the hallway connecting that and the bomb site. You can also use this to zap the default camera, allowing you to get a lot of information very, very easily. But that camera is more for your team, because as 0, you're actually going to be pushing the east side of the building. Once you've made it over here, put a 0 camera in the top of the arcade building. That 0 camera that I just showed you specifically can see all of bottom and top arcade, as well as the site door and the doorway into maintenance, and it allows you to see into the cache corridor, as well as somewhat into the reception room and initiation as well. It's overall a great camera. Once you've secured this side of the map with your teammates who are hopefully getting open the maintenance wall, you can move over to this side of the map, where you'll destroy the default camera and put a 0 camera that watches your upstairs flank. Your final 0 camera, however, needs to go somewhere like, let's say right about there. That 0 camera specifically will watch your hallway for anybody trying to flank you, because as 0, mainly you're going to use your hard breaching charges to open up this wall that is rarely protected with any sort of utility. You can do one low, maybe one high, so you can stand on the staircase and get a view in the site. Doesn't really matter. But as 0, you want to open up this wall, and because you have so many flank cameras, there's not a single possible place that they could flank you from without you knowing about it, which is really nice. These cameras also provide cameras for your teammates who maybe not be pushing with you or on the other side of the map. It doesn't really matter, but these cameras are absolutely outstanding. Actually, now that I think about it, y'all might want to put a hard breaching charger higher on this side and lower on this side, because I think that would actually allow you to see, like, let's see, in the throne maybe? Yeah, no, that's a great angle. So maybe put that one high and this one low. Either way, works out pretty well, and it's really good if you're a solo queue player and you're in low elo lobbies, especially because people love to flank. The cameras are super easy to do, and you don't need to rely on your team at all whatsoever to do the strat. So I personally love this strat. If you like strats like this where you don't really need to rely on teammates, then next you should try out this alibi strat for bunk. And it even works for initiation too, so it's a dual site strat. For this specifically, you want to be running observation blockers. The reason you bring observation blockers is because people really love to put drones somewhere in upper arcade to get any sort of info on upper arcade. To mitigate this, you can put all of your observation blockers, or at least 2 in my opinion, right on this grate just like this. This will allow you to be able to make it to where no one on your team can get droned if they're trying to run through arcade. It's very nice. However, personally, I think you need to save your 3rd observation blocker. The reason for this being is because people typically have head holes right here, correct? That they play off of in tandem with the box strat just like this. Well, if you don't want them to be able to drone out the fact that you even have this strat, or maybe you just don't want them to drone out that you're on the head holes, you can easily put an observation blocker just like this. This observation blocker will not only block the head holes, but it'll also block anybody behind the box, so you can easily play off of this and them not know where you are off of a drone. The only issue with this blocker is that people on the door, if they hop into Kafe or they hop in right here, they can easily shoot it. So let's pick this up. If you want a lower risk, lower reward observation blocker, you can easily just put it on the head holes just like this. What this allows you to do is put an alibi clone behind the blocker that tricks people into shooting it because they can't drone it out in the first place due to the observation blocker. If you put it a little farther back than I did, they won't be able to see the gun peeking out either, which will make people have to shoot the alibi clone, in which you can easily swing off of that information and get a free kill. It's very easy to do, and I recommend you do it with any alibi clone you ever place. You can, of course, also have one behind the arcade machine behind these 2 observation blockers due to the fact that they, again, can't see it. So people who hop in here are going to shoot the alibi clone, and people who are on the staircase who can't drone it will also shoot the alibi clone, in which you can have somebody on this door easily swing and kill people here and kill people here. It's very nice. Now, because you typically will have head holes here and a rotate on the left, I love putting an alibi clone behind this couch, because not only will people inside the site or on those head holes shoot this alibi clone, but also people inside of reception will shoot this alibi clone as well. So it's a dual purpose alibi clone that people who are sitting inside of bunk can easily get kills off of. It's very nice. But like I said, your teammates can use it, you can use it. It doesn't require a lot of team play. You can just put these down in the prep phase and kind of do whatever you want to do. It's very nice and very good for solo queue players who want to be very aggressive. Let's go over something much more passive though. which is this Monty strat, in which you're going to need to go to the ceiling first. The reason you go to the ceiling is because you want to open up this hatch. If you don't have a teammate that's going to do it for you, you want to bring hard breaching charges, but this strat is really good with smoke grenades, so hopefully you don't have to do that. Just a good rule of thumb. Now, once the hatch is open and you've dropped, you immediately want to drop with your shield extended in front of your face. Whenever you do this, it allows teammates to drop behind you safely. So if there's a mirror set up, or if they're just playing aggressive on this door, they won't actually get shot, which is amazing. The only issue now being is that they might have a nitro cell. So as Monty, whenever your teammate drops, wait for them to start pre-firing the mirror, and then you're going to walk forward, further protecting them by not going to the left and staying to the right protecting. Now, you're just going to stay on this door, and you're going to play very, very passively, giving your teammates comms. Hopefully they can, you know, take a gunfight here, maybe destroy the mirror, grenade people behind here, whatever it may be. You just want to play passively for information. Your biggest weakness with this strat specifically is anybody that tries to flank. But if you have teammates that are doing the strat with you, then you don't really need to worry about that because you can just tell them to watch the flank for you. As Monty, the second biggest thorn in the side of this strat is having somebody playing behind right here that your teammates need to deal with, because as Monty, you can't really do anything about it. But if you bring smokes like I told you to, you can easily smoke the little archway right here, and now nobody can see you, so you can easily just aggress the player behind here, knife him, shoot him, have a teammate behind you, whatever it may be, and then you can plant an initiation immediately. With this smoked off and a teammate with you, they won't be able to push you, and if they do, they'll probably die. So you get a free plant here. Once you have this free plant, you can easily extend your shield and then play off of this door. Or what I would actually recommend is stay inside of initiation, maybe play off of this double door, do what you need to do, re-smoke the door right here, doesn't really matter. You just want to be like, you know, very, very passive with this strat, just giving information to your teammates. The only time you want to be aggressive is when you're actually trying to push the person out of here, if that's the kind of route you're going for to take the site. But that's about it. You really just want to be passive, playing for that plant. It's a plant strat, so if you want to play passive, maybe get a plant strat, have a little troll strat going on, and this strat is definitely for you. And much more enjoyable map though is Villa. Now the first zombie barricade, you want to throw on this little futon next to the bed right here, just about where I put that bullet hole. What this zombie barricade right here allows you to do is it allows you to sit in master without having to worry about this master window, so you can play in here pretty safely. But what about this window? Well, the zombie barricade on the curvature of the fireplace, just like this, will allow you to not have to worry about that window either. So now, really, you're very much able to just play inside of Master for absolutely free. It's super powerful. One issue, though, is that people can hop in Closet and just shoot you whenever you're inside of Master. So what I like to do is I'll initially put some barbed wire inside of the Closet hop-in, and I want to put it like far out enough to where they can't melee it from behind this cover, right? So usually I'll put it about right here, and then I'll also combo that up with an Azami late round right there. That way, if they actually try to melee this barbed wire, they have to do it right here, and their feet's exposed, and they can't see me. So it's kind of a death trap, and it's really nice, and it makes it to where you don't have to worry about Closet until someone hops in there, and then you just make it a free kill. It's super, super cool. But in terms of where you would put that second barbed wire, because you're playing inside of Master, the only flank that you have to worry about would be from the statue door right here. So I like to put barbed wire on the statue door, personally, but you're also able to put it in bathroom if you don't want to have to worry about the bathroom window as well. Now, for the final two zombie barricades, I would honestly use one of them to replenish any of the other master zombie barricades that went out, but if none of them get destroyed, then the last one I would put is on this window. Normally, you can just get away with barricading this window, and the reason that you want it closed is so people don't get on this window and have a long angle through the head holes that are typically right here into sight. So if you zombie barricade this, it makes it to where that's not an issue. It also allows you, as somebody playing in bathroom, to rotate into master a lot safer and not have to worry about this window angle that they can commonly hold from the master window. So I like this one a lot. It's pretty cool, but honestly, if they're pressuring you a lot, you can just save that one and the last one for just replenishing this zombie barricade over and over and over again. It's really nice, but this is just an aggressive zombie hold for Master that you can easily use to not have to worry about any of the windows. But if someone like Azami isn't your style, then this castle strat for bathroom is just as good. Now, like I said, as castle, you're going to be playing in bathroom, so you want to eliminate any angles that can potentially be dangerous for you sitting inside of bathroom. The first of which, again, being this window right here, that allows people to sit on this master window and get a long angle into bathroom just like this. To mitigate this, you guessed it, you're just going to castle this window right here, which we talked about in the Azami example, also covers your head holes. Now, in terms of what you do with this triple wall, you obviously want the head holes here, paired up with the head holes for the site just like this. This will allow you to sit inside of statue and hold a long angle onto anybody in Closet, or preferably your teammates. Then you'd reinforce next to these head holes here, and you'd put feet holes next to the reinforcement. This strategy allows you to sit on this reinforcement and peek anybody on the window, or it allows you to sit in to shower and peek anybody that hops into the window, or even on the window for that matter. It's pretty nice. If you want to know that they hop into this closet because maybe you're afraid of not hearing them, then just put a proximity alarm on the bottom of this window. And because you're playing inside of bathroom, the only other flank route that you have to worry about is the Astro Stairs, which is where you'll put your second proximity alarm. In terms of where you'll put your other castles though, your second one is going to go on the closet door. Now this may seem weird, but because you're playing inside of bathroom, if they try to hop into closet and maybe you're just getting heavily contested, maybe you die, this makes it to where they can't leave closet, and they're kind of trapped by the people on these head holes and by you on these feet holes. So it's just really dangerous for them to hop into closet, and it serves as nice bait. Pair that up with the fact that you have a proximity alarm here, anybody on these head holes is easily going to capitalize on the person who is stuck inside of closet. This door also allows you to sit in bathroom without having to worry about this window if you don't want to peek it, which is pretty nice as well. Not to mention, these two castle barricades have the added bonus of making people on this window feel like it's a lot more safe to hop into master than it actually is. Now the third castle, you'll want to go on the Astro window. The reason it goes on the Astro window is because if you're trying to rotate to astronomy without having to die from the window here, you just castle it. It's pretty nice. And then the final castle is completely optional. But what I like to do personally is barricade this double door inside of the 90 hall just like this. Now what this does is it forces people who are in 90 or top red to, instead of going from this door, to just funnel into this door. And anybody that's playing off of these head holes will easily just hold an angle and kill people. So it's very nice for crowd control with the castle barricade. But we've talked extensively about statue and trophy defenses. So let's move down to dining and kitchen, where I have this excellent cage strat for keeping the wall closed here. What you'll do is you'll bring the TCSG or the revolver. Either one of these weapons will allow you to break a hole into this dresser like you just saw me do. Once you break open a hole in this dresser, make sure that this pantry wall is reinforced. Because as Cade, you'll be throwing a Cade Claw inside of the dresser, and the radius from this Cade Claw will actually hit the reinforced wall here and electrify it, as you can see. You can even put it a little further to the right as well, so that it actually will electrify the wall and also be very hard for anybody to EMP from this window or on the bottom of the staircase. Now for the second Cade Claw, you have three options. The first option is if you somehow make the mistake of reinforcing both of these dining and laundry walls, then you can just put a Cade Claw somewhere like right here, but I really don't recommend you do this. The second and slightly more viable option is the memorial room wall, which you can just put a Cade Claw behind the dresser right here. It'll electrify both of these walls, which is pretty important, especially in higher elo when people actually ace this open. But the third Cade Claw, I think, is the best. For this, you'll come upstairs, and this Cade Claw is assuming that you have roamers up here that reinforce these two walls. If your roamers are setting up the upstairs just like this to ward off any attackers trying to play vert, then you can throw a Cade Claw right about here inside of the site. As you can see, it fully electrifies the wall without them being able to see or EMP it or shoot it for that matter, making it completely impossible for them to unelectrify this wall. It even works, as you can see, if they reinforce all three walls instead of just two, so it's a really good Cade Claw. It's a super quick and easy strat if maybe you're not too accustomed to the dining and kitchen site for Villa. But a site I guarantee you're more accustomed to is Aviator and Games. Now for this site, I brought you a Maestro strat, which is fitting because he just got buffed. What you want to do is come into study and put a Maestro camera just like this, above the study hatch. Then, put an observation blocker behind the fireplace so that nobody can shoot it when they walk into study or up from main. This observation blocker, as you can see, completely protects your Maestro camera, so that if they try to drone through the study door, they have to get all the way over here before they can even see the Maestro camera, which by then you probably would have zapped it in the first place. Also, if you break the hatch beneath the Maestro camera, now they can't even go up to it and knife it, which is really powerful. This Maestro camera in specific serves two purposes. One, it shoots drones, like I showed you earlier, but also it'll deny any aces on the wall that they're trying to use to open up your mirror or just opening up the wall in general. It's very useful. The second Maestro camera that you'll be placing does the exact same job. You'll want to put it inside of the window above the hatch, just like this, inside of 90. Then, again, break the hatch. This allows you to get any drones inside of 90, while also allowing you to kill any Habanas or Aces that are on the 90 wall. It's super powerful. The hatch, of course, making it to where you don't have to worry about anybody knifing your Maestro, which is really nice, especially because people can't pre-cook grenades now. Now they can't even use grenades to destroy the camera. It's awesome. Also, if you put an observation blocker behind this pillar, just like this, they can't even drone out the Maestro camera. And they also can't drone you out if you're sitting behind the pillar, ready to swing off of the information your camera provides. Now, the final Maestro camera that you need to use goes inside of Aviator on the door, just like this. If you pair this up with an observation blocker on the door, now, unless they send their drone in through Aviator, which of course you can prevent with that Maestro camera, then they won't be able to see this Maestro camera at all. This camera in specific is made to where if you run into plant vault or you run in from the study door to plant on the bomb, you can easily get on this camera and shoot them and deny the plant. If you don't know, Maestro's cooldowns on his camera just got buffed, so now you can reliably in one mag down any 3 speeds that are trying to get the bomb down. If they decide to plant behind the map table, however, you're not only able to use this camera to deny it, but also you can use the first camera to deny it. It's a dual purpose strategy. And as Maestro, as long as you're sitting inside a vault and you're able to swing off of your cameras pretty easily, you should win most rounds with this strategy. But I've talked about nothing but defensive strats. So let's go over this attacking Brava strategy if you're trying to attack top floor, either one of the bomb sites. First, you want to spawn roadside, and then you're going to destroy the default camera obviously right there. Once you're here though, you're going to rappel on top of the brick wall like this, and get on top of the little ceiling for the shed. Once you're here with your para 308, you're easily able to mow down the bore window. And now you have a long angle onto anybody inside of top red or anybody rotating from skull door. It's a long angle that can get you a lot of kills for any over-aggressive defenders rotating back to site when they try to reinforce for their team. Once you've been here for at least 30 seconds, or maybe you've gotten the kill, then you'll rotate down and you'll get on top of this roof right here. Once you've rappelled on this roof, you're going to immediately get behind this little chimney pillar right here and get on your Brava drone. What's great about this drone is the first part of the strategy, you're just going to immediately go in the drone and look at the 90 camera, hack it, and back it out. And because you can do this so quickly, they actually can't prevent it and react in time, so you just got the most powerful camera in the entire game on this map for absolutely free, and they can't do anything about it unless they shoot it. But if they shoot it again, it's a powerful camera, so that's on them. Once you're here with your drone though, and the coast is clear, you can either hop through the window, or you can hop through this drone hole and get any cap cans on the double door, or any Malusi Banshees, any Fenrir devices, whatever it may be, through the aviator door, because this drone hole again is so close to the site that it would honestly be stupid if you didn't just start hacking utility like this. But once you've hacked enough utility and you know that 90 is clear, whether it be through your drone or through your camera, you can then hop inside of the bore window, given that you know no one is inside of trophy to swing and kill you. Once you're here, you're immediately going to try to contest and take 90. However, if your teammates are pushing study super hard, then maybe actually you should consider pushing aviator instead. Either way, you're going to use your smoke grenades to cut off parts of the site, like let's say right about here, to get a plant down behind the bomb chassis here, or behind the vault door just like this. Then you can easily just go down red stairs and hold a passive angle, or get on your drone and use your drone's information or the 90 cam's information to get an easy post-plant win. It's very simple, very easy to do, and I've noticed that it gets me a lot of free ranked wins. Going over a newer map though, let's go over Nighthaven Labs. And so what you're going to do is go onto the rafter staircase and aim in this little rectangle right here and throw it behind the plants just like this. Now this Valkyrie camera here can see anybody coming up the rafter stairs through the plant, as well as anybody coming in through the window over there. It's very, very nice. Not only this, but it's super hidden for anybody going up to rafters. They'd have to be looking exactly right here to see it, but if they're on the staircase, they'll be looking at the door over here anyways, so no one's going to be seeing that camera. If you also destroy any of the plants over here with your Deagle or with your MPX, it makes it even easier to see the right side of anybody coming onto the, the staircase here, the doorway over there. It's good for audio calls as well. Overall, a really good camera. An even better camera, though, goes inside of the plants here. But before I go over that, I need to tell you something. Whenever you throw a Valkyrie camera inside of plants, it typically breaks the plants, which makes your Valkyrie camera a lot less hidden. To avoid this, what you're going to do is throw one Valkyrie camera on the wall, and then bounce your other Valkyrie camera off of that one. That will make it to where the Valkyrie camera will not destroy the plants, while also giving your Valkyrie camera some cover if attackers try to look for it. And as you can see, when you get on this Valkyrie camera, you can still see everything. You can see the door, the window hop in, the wall, anybody inside this room. It's overall a very good camera that no one's really going to look for. But the best Valkyrie camera on this list is going to go right above this waterfall sign, just right here. That Valkyrie camera is actually pretty hidden because of the black little roof tiles just like that. But as you can see, it sees the staircase, the double door, and the door from outside. And I don't know if you noticed, but it's actually floating mid-air. I have no idea why it's doing that. But overall, it's a really good camera for information. Now, as Valkyrie, you'll be playing on site off of your cameras, just using them for information. But if you want to go below and get a nitro cell kill, then you can easily come below into Lounge and throw a nitro cell right about there like I just showed you. Then you can get on your camera, and as soon as you see somebody cross the barrier to your right, you can blow up your nitro cell and get a free kill. It's pretty nice most of the time. As you can see, anyone on the wall would have just been dead. An even better strat for top floor, though, is this Fenrir strat. Now, as Fenrir, you'll be primarily playing rafters. And then later in the round, whenever you're getting surrounded, you can use the pretty common rotate here to fall back into sight, and play off the head hole reinforcement combo that's typically right about here. That being said, where do you actually put his mines? Well, first of all, you want one for the IT room. Putting one on the wall is bad because they can easily just walk out of it once they walk into it, and now they know where the mine is. So putting it deeper into IT is not a terrible idea. The actual placement, though, is going to go right about here. This will ensure that they have to walk deep into IT before they set that mine off, allowing you to easily shoot them because it takes them so much time to leave the room once they get hit by the mine. You can also optionally pair this up with barbed wire to slow them down even further, and it's pretty much a free kill when you activate. But honestly, I wouldn't activate it quite yet, because we still have 4 more mines to talk about, the first of which is going to go on the rafters door, just like this. Then you want one for the site door, right here. Then you want one for the other site door, right about there. And then lastly, you want one for the site wall, which you can pretty much just put right there. Now, because you're actually playing inside of rafters, you want to activate the ones that are closest to you that are going to go off first. The rafters door is a great example. People can get here immediately. But unless this wall is open, there's no reason to activate that one. So instead, activate the one that's nearest to the site that's closest to you, which would be the one all the way over there. And if that wall's not open yet, then there's no reason to activate that mine, so you can leave that dormant. So the only other option would be the one on this doorway, which is good because they can hop in the window and do a fast-paced rush from the doorway anyways, so that kind of just works out. Now, in terms of your last barbed wire placement, I don't really think it matters. You can put it in the site next to your Fenrir mine over there, or you can put it on the rafters staircase. Doesn't really matter. But if you know where they're pushing from after a few seconds into the round, and you know they're not pushing from one place, then once the wall's open, you can deactivate one of those mines, put it on the wall, or put it maybe on the other wall if they decided to get the other wall. It doesn't really matter, but either way, you can play in rafters pretty safely and use these head holes and the rotate to play off of any number of your Fenrir mines that you have in place. It's a really good strat if you play extremely passively, only swinging off of your Fenrir mines when they go off, otherwise you'll just lose gunfights, so I think it's very, very good if you're more of a passive player. But we've talked about nothing but top floor strats. So let's talk about this basement strat with Mira. Now, as Mira, you want to reinforce the left side and put head holes with an optional vaultable rotate next to your reinforcement. Next, you'll obviously put a Mira on the reinforcement just like this. And now you can easily pressure and watch the wall with an optional nitro from behind the table if anyone plants in the default corner right there. In terms of your other Mira, you have a few options here. You can reinforce this wall with feet holes next to it and put the Mira right there for information. You can reinforce this wall, put the Mira on that, and then have head holes that you can actually swing off of for kills. Or you can reinforce both of these walls and put the Mira like this. It's pretty optional and you can do whatever best fits your playstyle. That being said, there's not much that you just set up. You really only set up 3 reinforcements and the Mira, so you should get your shotgun out and help your team set up site. Usually, you want to rotate right here, which you've already done, but also you want to rotate on the right side of this wall as well. This rotate will allow you to stop the plant that typically happens in front of this wall right there, but it will also allow you to get another angle onto the wall if you need to get off of your Mira. If you put a reinforcement next to it as well, it's a lot safer to peek this angle, so I definitely recommend that you do that if you have reinforcements left over. A lot of people like to put head holes on this wall as well, but I actually recommend you don't do that. This is because if they get the plant down right here, which is pretty easy for them to do with a single smoke grenade, then they can use these head holes to deny your diffuser. So I actually like to reinforce this wall. It also gives them less rotate options and less ways to blow up a wall to get a free plant down right here, so it's just nice to have. In terms of using your shotgun for site setup though, having feet holes here is always good. It allows you to have somebody on the pillar be able to shoot anybody coming down the staircase. And then these feet holes do the exact same thing. Just information feet holes you can use to shoot people on the staircase. It's really, really nice. But that's pretty much it for this strat. It's very simple, and if you like Mira and she's somehow not banned, then you can get free wins with this. So staying on the basement, let's go over this attacking Buck strat. As Buck, you'll want to spawn generator side. Then after destroying this default camera, you're going to open up this wall with your Buck shotgun, because having control over this hatch is very, very important. But usually there's roamers here to contest you, so what I do immediately after is rappel on the right side of this wall just like this. This will allow you to get a huge angle onto your rotate or anybody on the door trying to contest you, to which you can easily get a kill. It's very, very nice. Also, if you make it a bit higher, you can see head level, so I would honestly recommend you do that. Then as Buck, make sure you have hard reaching charges because you're going to open up this hatch here. Hatch control here is super important because it allows your teammates who are trying to get the bomb down here a lot of cover, and it makes it to where if anyone's sitting on pillar, you can easily kill them for free. Once you've done that though, then what I would do is I'd rappel on this window after breaking the barricade. Then once you're rappelled, turn upside down and shoot a hole through the floor like I've done to get a free angle. You can extend this angle pretty far, all the way deep into sight, and they won't really be able to do anything about it. It's super nice. Once you've done that though, you can easily rappel in and do vert on this entire room. This will get you vert onto that Mira setup that we talked about earlier, as well as any vert on the rotate that we talked about earlier. Not only that, but you can do vert on the comms room as well, all over here, to get vert onto anybody playing pillar, or maybe your teammates decided to plant behind the pillar instead, so now you have vert on that as well. You can also get vert right above the other site door, so it's a pretty versatile strategy. Really, the hardest part about it is taking rafters and taking hatch control, because they love to have roamers all on rafters in this doorway here, you know, coming from this hallway over here, so it's kind of hard to do this without dying to roamers. But once you get past that obstacle, and it's a little bit later into the round, it's a cakewalk from there, I promise you. A strat that's a little bit easier to do though, that requires a little less team coordination, is this OSA strat for attacking the top floor IT wall. Now, as OSA, make sure that you bring EMP grenades, so that you can help your ace or thermite get this IT wall open just like this. But before you get the wall open, make sure that you have this OSA shield, or an OSA shield in general, put down, so that whenever this wall gets opened, you're easily able to contest the people in rafters, and you don't necessarily have to worry about a swing from a random Azami on this doorway. This is honestly where you're going to spend about half the round, just contesting rafters, contesting the doorway, and then if you can't see anybody in rafters, or you want to pressure them a bit more, you can pull your shield out and then come onto this doorway with your shield. Once you do this, you can pull your OSA out and break the barricade with it, and then, you know, kind of look around, see if anyone's rafters. If they are, you can put the barricade down, bait out the impacts, you know what I'm saying, put it down again, and then you can have a gunfight with anybody in rafters with somebody else behind your first OSA shield, preferably your hard breach, also having an angle onto them. So now you have 2 angles onto the rafters, kid, which is a pretty much guaranteed kill, right? Like, because they can't handle 2 people at once. Then, once you've done that, you can pick up this OSA shield and put it for the rotate. Now, they can't rotate in between sight, and your person behind that OSA shield can still see anybody on your doorway that wants to swing you. And you have this entire whole, like, 180 view of this doorway, the rotate, or anybody trying to rotate to sight, so now the roamers can't get back to sight. Or if you decide to, you know, get that OSA and bring it into here, you can get on this doorway, contest anybody behind the pillar, maybe go in that closet right there, which is honestly something that I see more commonly. Put an OSA shield right in front of the door, and then you have this huge line of sight right here, and you can contest anybody trying to deny your planter behind the pillar, because maybe they opened this wall instead. But either way, using OSA to hold these huge line of sights so that your hard breacher can get the plant down or they can get a kill is really what you want to be doing with OSA on this strat. I die to so many OSA strats. People will do it from the IT wall, they'll do it from the rafters door, they'll have an OSA push from the closet, they'll do it from behind the wall, they'll push with OSA over here and have somebody break open this wall and plant in the other objective. Like, they'll do anything in their power. So using OSA with your EMP grenades to get the wall, paired with a hard breacher to get lines of sight and get the plant down, is very powerful in this site, because the issue with attacking the site is that you're able as a defender to get these long angles that attackers can't really take control of. But OSA as an operator, her entire job is to take control of these lines of sight for the attackers so that the defenders can't push them by using her deployable shields to take control of the lines of sight. So if you can do that with OSA, which you can do pretty easily, then you can win a lot of your top floor attacks. For the next map, I'll be giving you 5 strats for Outback. Now, as Valkyrie, you're going to be playing inside of Party and Office. First of all, you're going to stand on the left side of this hatch just like this and run into the wall. Then you're going to look at the tip of this black flag right here and line it up with the tip of this speaker, just like so. Once you've done that, you can just click and throw your Valkyrie camera. This Valkyrie camera, as you can see, is hidden by the pipes pretty well, but if you get on it, you can actually see anybody inside of the Shark hallway, in Bull, or on the game's door. Either way, it's a really, really good camera. And as you can see from the attacker POV, it is almost completely invisible. They will not find this camera at all. Not only do you need a camera for Bull, but you also need a camera for Garage and Office. If you stand inside of Office and you throw a camera in this little triangle right here, you can easily get a camera that watches both. This camera, as you can see, watches all of Office and the doorways into it, as well as all of Garage. And if you land your camera on the actual metal beam instead of the ceiling, you can get a better view of inside of Office and watch all of the doorways, including the electrical one over there. It's a very nice camera that gets a lot of information that isn't that easy to spot. As you can see, if I'm just walking around, I really have to be looking at it to notice that it's a Valkyrie camera. It kind of looks like a water fire alarm thing. I don't know. It doesn't look like a Valcam. Now, the only place that we don't have info on is the Shark hallway. In order to get this information, though, you can easily throw a Valkyrie camera inside of the light right here. Throwing a Valkyrie camera in any one of the lights that look like this is great, because the grating around the camera makes it to where you can't even shoot the camera whenever you see it. But also, it makes it super hidden, so when you get on the camera, it's not really an issue of them finding it or not. As you can see on this camera, I can see bottom shark, the reception door, I can see top shark, I can see into picnic, all kinds of stuff. This camera's great. Like I said though, you can throw this in any one of the other lights that have a grating on them just like that. It's really nice. As Valkyrie, because these cameras are so close to sight, you really can just sit on site, get on your cameras, and then spot people, and then go and swing people afterwards. That's kind of the whole strat. Just sit on site with your cameras and swing off of the information. Very simple. Something a bit more complicated though is this Azami strat for laundry and piano. Now if you've watched my channel, you know that I love to use Azamis to get inside of bunks like this. And you can actually do this. If you look at the bottom right of the bunk leg like this and throw your Azami, it should look like this. Then if you get to the left side and crouch, you should get a vault prompt if you look diagonally at the barricade. Then you can vault over the Azami and now you're inside of the bunk. This will give you perfect cover from the window, to which with Azami you can put barbed wire here so that you know when they hop in. Then what you can do is you can throw an Azami next to the one that you just deployed. This will lock you inside of the bunk and make it to where they can't see you whenever they're on the wall, but you can choose when to swing them. It's very nice to have. Your only worry now is the staircase here, but if you have barbed wire on that staircase, you'll know when they're coming. But it's still a really bad angle that you can get exposed to, so what I would do is I'd throw a zombie barricade on the top of this door just like this. This will make it to where they actually won't be able to see you whenever they walk up, but you can see their feet, and if you have information from the barbed wire like I just talked about, that should be a free kill for you. This zombie barricade also serves a double purpose. It allows people to hold tight angles onto the window just like this, and it allows people to hold tight angles onto the wall just like this if they're crouching. It's pretty nice. Also, a lot of the times attackers can take control of the yellow stairs super easily, so this zombie barricade makes it to where if they want to sprint through this door fast and take laundry, they can't. They have to crouch and slow down and make noise, which gives you a huge advantage. Now, in terms of where your other zombie barricade should go, what I would do is I would use your final two to replenish this one to cover you from the wall if they're pushing the wall super heavily. If they're not even pushing from here though, and you don't use your zombie barricades to replenish either of these barricades here, then a great barricade would be the one on the corner of this box just like so. This will make it to where any people on this rotate right here don't have to worry about the doorway because your zombie barricade is covering it. It also gives you a tight little pixel angle onto anyone inside of Picnic, which is great. Another good zombie barricade is the one right here on this towel shelf. If you stack this with another one, it makes it to where they can't see through the window, and because of how far it is away from the window, they can't even melee it. So they have to actually get some bulletproof utility to destroy it, and it also eliminates an angle entirely. It's great. But we've talked extensively about defensive strategies. So let's go over this top floor attacking strat with Chalet. Now typically you'll have people bring Thatcher, EMPs, or in this case a Chalet to help the thermite open the wall with the explosive lance just like this. The only issue with this strat is if you actually rappel on the balcony and see how many runouts and spawn peaks there are, it's very dangerous to rappel here in the first place. I mean, just look at this. You have 1 runout, 2 runouts, 3 runouts, 4 runouts, 5 runouts, 6 runouts, 7 runouts, 8 runouts from that door, 9 runouts from that window. I mean, there's just a lot of runouts. Oh, there's also a window that I forgot over there too, but that's 10 runouts. That's a lot of runouts for this angle. Luckily though, Chalet does bring 2 claymores, so you can at least get rid of 2 of these. And the most common runouts that I see is the first runout from this garage window, which you can easily put a claymore on, and the runout from the bowl window, which you can easily put a claymore on as well. Now that your runouts are covered, you can easily get back on this rappel, where you'll start the strategy. Once you've helped open up the wall, you can actually destroy this little suitcase blocking the drone hole with your Chalet gun. This does take a few shots, and if it doesn't work, you can use an explosive lance to really get it. I don't recommend you do that though, because as you can see, after a little bit of determination, I was able to shoot it out. And no, this drone hole is not so that you can put a drone through. If you go all the way to the left right here, you can actually see the door right here inside of laundry. As you can see, this white part is the door frame, and to the right of that is the door leading into laundry. Just to show you, I'll get on my drone right here. We can drive through this drone hole. This is the door that I'm talking about. You can get an angle onto anybody sitting right here. As you can see from this one ping from the drone hole, I can see my drone. This is a really good angle to hold because a lot of people don't know about this angle. It's very hard to shoot you back due to the metal cover you have right here, and because you're playing Chalet, you can easily get a great zoomed in scope to kill anybody due to how easily you can just see them. It's great overall. If you don't like that angle though, you can get behind these 2 refrigerators here and hold a long angle through the window and the door onto anybody trying to rotate outside of dorms. After that, whenever you get into the building, pull out your SMG and get to work, because the round's pretty much cut out for you if you get a free kill from the drone hole right there. It's a little bit of a silly strat, but it does actually work sometimes. Something a bit more reliable though is this gridlock strat for attacking Picnic. As gridlock, once you've shut out the default camera from spawning over here, you can get your super shorty out and break the barricade just like I did right here. Then you want to get behind this half wall here and get on your drone. Once you're on your drone, you want to drone out Picnic initially to make sure no one's sitting inside of it. Then drone out Top Shark to make sure no one is Top Shark or on the shark stairs. Once you've done this, then you can easily run across like this and hope that nobody pre-fires your head, and then throw a gridlock track on the shark stairs and a gridlock track back here as well, which you can safely throw from outside this door instead of just in front of this one where you'll get shot. These two tracks will make it to where you really can't get flanked unless they shoot the tracks, which you will know about since you're so close to them. Now, really all you have to worry about is pushing through this doorway, which is arguably the hardest part. If this wall is soft though, you can make yourself a rotate into games or pool tables, whatever you call this area, and pressure this door instead. But I honestly wouldn't recommend doing that. I would open up this wall and throw your third gridlock track right in the antechamber, just like this, or connector, whatever you call this doorway. This will make it to where they can't rotate from bathroom, from games, from laundry, or from the rotate on the left without you knowing about it because they'll shoot your gridlock tracks. Your final one can go actually on the rotate behind the box if people are behind there, or preferably in this hallway right here so they can't rotate there either. Overall, using gridlock tracks to stop defender rotations whenever you're trying to get the bomb down is the best way to use gridlock, and that's why I'm teaching you to use her like this for this side specifically. If there's a rotate on the right side instead of the left side, however, you can smoke it off with gridlock smoke and get a plant down behind the black box just like this. Once you've done that, you can easily throw a smoke on the roof to bounce in front of the rotate again to re-smoke yourself so that you can leave and get a long angle from Picnic, or from the rotate right here, or from the doorway right here onto anybody trying to defuse the bomb. Optionally, you can also open up holes below the diffuser with your super shorty, open up the hatch, and then drop the hatch and play below for the diffuser as well, which will be much less contested for you. As you can see, I'm below the black box right now with my super shorty, and it's pretty much a free kill if they try to defuse. Something else that's a free kill though is this Fenrir strat for top floor laundry. Now if you're playing Fenrir, make sure obviously that you bring the bailiff because you want to be helping your team set up the site. First of all, having a rotate on the left side of this wall is preferred. Making this rotate standing will allow you to get a long angle onto the Picnic door, just like this, to kill anybody trying to walk in. If you pair this up with a Fenrir mine above the double door with barbed wire in front of it as well, they'll be slowed down and blind, so you'll really be able to get a free kill from that angle. If you also open up just a small head hole to the right side of that rotate, you can go all the way inside of bunks where you can get an even longer angle onto that doorway onto your Fenrir mine. As you can see, that one ping is on that double door, so it's really easy to do and you'll get a lot of value out of it. In terms of his other mines though, because you are playing inside of bunks, you want one for the window, preferably on the left side just like this. The reason you want it on the left side is just because typically when people hop in this window, they'll go to the right and contest bathroom and hide in this corner, so having it near them so they don't run out of the radius if you put it on the right is preferred. I also put barbed wire below the window sometimes, or you can put it on yellow stairs, which I'll talk about later, just in case you wanted to know where to put that other set of barbed wire. Speaking of yellow stairs though, you want a Fenrir mine on yellow stairs. Now with this comes an issue. If you put it on the top of yellow stairs right here, they can easily get on the bottom of yellow stairs and hold a long angle before they're exposed to the Fenrir mine, so you might die due to lack of information. To counter this, I honestly like putting the Fenrir mine high up on the wall like this. That way, the second they turn the corner to get that angle, they'll be blinded. If you pair this up with barbed wire at the top of the stairs, you, sitting inside of bunks, can hear, oh shit, they're here, and then peek them from the bottom of the Fenrir mine. It's very easy to do. But if you're going to do that, you have to worry about the angle from the wall, and people commonly will run in this wall when they get it open, which is why I recommend your next Fenrir mine being inside of the target, just like that. Now, if they walk in the wall, not only will they barely be able to see the Fenrir mine, but they'll get hit with it super late, which is great for you because then they'll have to take more time to retreat back at the wall, which will in turn get you a free kill. Your last Fenrir mine though, you have two options. You can put it on the bathroom window, or you can put it on the antechamber door right there, or the connector door, whatever you call it, doesn't really matter. This one is way more useful for your teammates if you have it active all throughout the round, whereas this one is much more aggressive and selfish if you're going to be getting frags inside of bunks. One isn't really greater than the other, but they're just dependent on your playstyle. Now, which one should you have active? At the start of the round, you want the one in Picnic active, just because a lot of people like to rush there early in the round. Then you want the connector one active as well for the exact same reason. And then you want the one on Yellow Stairs active. These are all three common rush points that they'll use that can really catch you off guard or your teammates off guard, so it's good to have these early in the round. But if you don't notice that they're pushing here within the first minute of the round, you can deactivate them. Let's say I know that they're not pushing Yellow Stairs, I can deactivate that one. Or if I know they're not pushing connector, then I can deactivate that one. And then I can reallocate it to, let's say, the window here, which they probably will actually be on. You want to really keep this wall one inactive to save space for activating other ones, because sometimes they won't even open this wall, but if they do open this wall, that's the only time you'd really activate it. If a minute and a half goes by and they're not even touching this wall though, then you can take this one off and put it somewhere else, like let's say on the actual door to site all the way over there. Or if they're not pushing over there, then maybe putting it on the window right here. Doesn't really matter, but you can reallocate one mine super late into the round depending on where or where not they may be pushing. But as Fenrir, as long as you're staying inside of bunks holding long angles like this one, you should be getting 3 kills. 5 strats that are even better though is these strats for Emerald Plains. Now as you can see, you want a vaultable rotate next to the reinforced wall on the coffin wall. The reason that you do this is because it allows you to rotate obviously with the wall, which makes it to where you can castle this door so your roamers still have a way to get back to site, and you aren't exposed to this hallway if you want to play off of this wall for the orange stairs. Having this castled off also ensures that nobody gets on that window and holds a long angle into sight, and if they do, you'll know about it so you can easily be into sight and hold that long angle instead. More importantly, however, this vaultable rotate also serves as a way for you to hold an angle from the top of the stairs onto this rotate so that you can shoot anybody on the wall when it gets open. If you see, that is the outside wall. You can see it all the way from the top of orange stairs, and if you make the rotate a little bit more to the left like I did here, you can see it even clearer, and they're never gonna see this coming. But where do your other 2 castles go? Well, as castle, you're actually going to be playing top floor. The reason that you play top floor is because you're going to come into the utility closet here and open up the floor just like this. Once you've opened up this part of the floor, you can get a long angle onto the wall that we just talked about earlier. I get tons of kills from this spot because not many people know about it due to the fact that I actually invented this angle. And if you reinforce the walls to your right, then now they can't easily soft breach it and you can get cover for the angle that you're trying to hold. The only issue is they can get on this door, so your 3rd castle barricade is going to go on this door. But also, they can go on this door. So, you guessed it, your last castle is going to go on this door just like this. These 2 castles here will provide you all the cover you need to hold this angle right here passively, and if anyone tries to break it or you're getting heavily contested, then you always have the route on orange stairs that you can take with the rotate that we talked about earlier to get back to site safely. The only issue is they can come in this hallway and make it to where you're not able to do that, so having your proximity alarm on this doorway will alert you if anyone is doing that. But what I like to do personally is just open up the hatch, because a lot of the times they won't even think to take upstairs, and if they do, it's usually only 1 to 2 people, and you can waste a lot of time, so then you can just drop the hatch back into sight, and then hold the hatch, so they can't use it. And because a lot of this right here is not breakable, they can't even really use the hatch to its fullest advantage, because this wall prevents them from looking onto deep into dining. So either way, if they get the hatch, you can kind of just contest it. It doesn't give them much control anyways, so I like to break it and use it late in the round for a late round rotation. If you, however, choose to take this rotate back to site instead of the hatch, then your last proximity alarm will go somewhere in the hallway, preferably like right there. This proximity alarm will alert you if anybody comes in the bathroom door or the reception door, or if somebody shoots it, that will alert you if anybody's in the hallway. So either way, you'll know if someone's in the hallway pretty easily. So if you choose to take the hatch or you choose to take this rotate, you will know if enemies are there and you'll have cover. So it's a pretty good strategy if you want to get some really long angles that most attackers don't know about. An even better strategy though is this Valkyrie strat for top floor. Your first Valkyrie camera is actually going to go on this light right here next to the wall that leads into the painting gallery. As you can see, it kind of just looks like the actual light bulb, so nobody's going to look at that and think, yup, that's a Valkyrie camera. It looks kind of like a Valkyrie camera because I have ultra settings on, but with even lower settings on, no one's going to think that that's a Valkyrie camera. Not a single person. And as you can see when you get on this camera, not only are you able to see the window hop in for the site plant and the window and the hallway, but you can also see the staircase as well, which is very nice. The next Valkyrie camera, you're going to go to the double window here and aim it at the top of the chandelier chain right there and throw it. It should land high up on the chain, and it blends in pretty well, contrary to what you might think, because no one's going to be having their crosshair all the way up there to look for a camera, and it can see pretty much everywhere on the map. This camera's pretty ridiculous. It can see in the window, it can see all of Green Hall, it can see into hunting, it can see into library, it can see bottom fireplace. It's a really, really nice camera for a lot of passive information in case that default camera right there gets shot. The only place that you have minimal information on is the green hallway. Now that camera did see a little bit of it, but not much, and because this is the most common place for attackers to push, you want a good camera for it. Well, the camera under this drum bench right here does the job just fine. This camera can see the door walk up for Green Hall, it can see every single room and cubby that leads into Green Hall, as well as even the green stairs, as well as anybody trying to get the wall open. So it's a multi-purpose camera that can be used even for just sound calls, and if you want to get maybe a nitro below next to the doorway to site here, You can easily put a nitro cell right here downstairs, and as soon as you hear them get on the door or see them get on the door, you can blow it up for a free kill. But now that we're already upstairs, let's go over this Aruni strat for the painting gallery. Now, when making any Aruni strat, you need to know the top 3 most common places for attackers to push. In this case, it would be the door leading into statue and gallery, the door from Orange Hall, and the door from admin. Now, an Aruni gate for this door here specifically is good, because a lot of people will send smokes through this door to smoke off the little archway here to get a plant down behind one of the display cases. So having an Aruni gate to burn one or more of those smokes is great for you. Having an Aruni gate on this door as well is pretty good, because a lot of people like to rush from up orange stairs to get free kills, but having an Aruni gate here to stop them, or at least give you information when they break it, is also really nice. However, you don't want an Aruni gate on this door, even though people commonly will push from it. And we'll come back to why this is later. But for now, you want to make a rotate in between the sides. I personally like making it on the right side instead of the left side, because they can get on that window and watch the left side of this rotate. But if you make it on the right side, you have cover from behind the stone wall. It also makes it to where if you want to hide behind this corner while leaning to the left, you can easily kill anybody who walks in without your permission, and not be exposed to a rotate in the process. Once you've barricaded this double window to make sure they don't get a line of sight from library, then you'll put the third Aruni gate down, which won't be on this door, it will actually be on this door. The reason you put it on that door and not this door is because you actually typically rotate through this door, because you typically want control of this room as well. That's why people will reinforce these 2 walls, so they can easily rotate in this door without an attacker line of sight blocking them from doing so. Also, taking control of this room with optional feet holes right here as well makes it to where if somebody walks into the site to your left right here, then you can easily shoot their feet through the feet holes and they can't get the plant down. Optionally as well, I see people who have head holes right here, so you can do the exact same thing but from a longer distance, but a lot of the times in solo queue, your teammates will die because of these head holes because they don't know that they're here, so I honestly don't recommend doing this. Just put the feet holes here so that you can prone and do the exact same thing and make your teammates not die as easily. This Aruni gate right here also gives you information if they try to push your doorway and take control from you, so that's why I recommend you put it on that door and not this door. Also, if you're trying to rotate between these 2 rooms, the Aruni gate will actually deactivate making a sound, so you don't want that. Now with Aruni, I like bringing her bulletproof camera, and where I would put her bulletproof camera is on this wall. The reason you put it on this wall is because you can open up holes right here, and now you have a long line of sight onto anybody on the door, as well as an angle that you can use as a defender behind the bomb chassis to get some free peeks and some free kills. As you can see when I get on the camera, you can clearly see the door and zap any drones that come through. But we've been talking about nothing but defender strats. So let's go over this attacking 0 strat for top floor. Now this can work for any of the top floor sites, but specifically this was made for the CEO office site. Now typically, a lot of people will push Green Hall. So as 0, you can give your teammates cameras when they push here. The first thing you're going to do is open up the window that goes into Hunting Hall. Then you're going to shoot a 0 camera exactly right here. Then you can shoot the default camera with your 0 camera, and now you have information onto anybody in library or the Green Hall. It's pretty much the same Valkyrie camera that we talked about in the second strat, but for 0 instead. Once that is done, get on your drone and break this door, because you want to drone your hard left to make sure nobody can test you when you pull your 0 camera out. Once your 0 camera is out, back up till you're about in line with this case here and shoot your 0 camera just like this. This 0 camera will give you information onto anybody on the green stairs or in the Green Hall, which is great for you because, again, a lot of defenders will defend here due to the fact that a lot of attackers will attack here. So now you have 2 very good cameras to allow you and your team to push Green Hall because, like I said, attackers will push here, so it's really just good for your teammates. But 0 specifically is really good for solo strats. So while your team is pushing the Green Hall, you're actually going to break open the door into archives right here and push the backside. Once you've done this, make sure that you drone yourself into archives so that nobody is sitting in a corner and is easily able to kill you. Then get on your 0 camera to make sure no one's in library, and then you're just going to take statue control with your drone. The 0 camera I recommend you put in here is the one in the corner of statue like this. When you're pushing backside, this will give you all of the information that you need. Pair this up with your second camera inside of library, and now you know if they come through anywhere that they could possibly flank you from, except for the orange stairs, which, you guessed it, is where you're going to be putting your 4th camera. I recommend you put it in the top left corner right here so you don't have to swing out the doorway and get shot by a kid in the hallway, but also so that you can zap the camera here and also watch orange stairs, instead of just being able to watch the orange hallway. Now, every single staircase that they could possibly flank you from, the library stairs, the orange stairs, and the green stairs, you have a camera on, which not only supports you and your backside push, but it also supports your teammates, which is what Zero is meant to do. Now, you can use that information and your drones to take sight, or if one of your teammates is dead, they can use it for flank cams, and you can get a free round win. An even better strat for attack, though, is this ram strat for attacking the bottom floor. As Ram, your goal is to get into the top floor. So if this is soft, which chances are it is whenever you're playing the bottom side, then you can easily put a Ram drone right here, and then make sure that it's curved to the left, and activate it. Because it's curved to the left, it will open up a large portion of the wall, while also turning left and opening up a large portion of this floor, and it'll give you a rotate, which is really, really good. This will allow you to see pretty much anybody in the left side of archives, as well as give you that angle that I talked about earlier for anybody sitting inside of freezer. You essentially turned the defense strat into the offensive strat with this vert angle. Once you're here and you have top floor control with drones or with teammates and angles like this, then is where you're going to use your next two ram drones. One is going to go across just like this, which will give you vert on the remainder of anybody sitting inside of dining, and even allows you to shoot people who are trying to hide in wine away from all of the vert. And then your last one, you're going to send just like this. This will get you all the vert that you will need to contest anybody in kitchen or anybody on the door that's contesting your people on the wall. The reason that I didn't put it going this way is because then it would open up feet holes like this on the wall, which people on the library stairs could use right here to get an angle onto your feet when you're in here playing vert. So I never really put my ram drones against walls like this for that specific reason. Instead, I sent them diagonally, which gives you the same amount of vert. And if you still want vert for this spot right here, you can pull out your shotgun and get it in 1 to 2 shots, as opposed to opening up a wall that can get you killed. Now you have vert on pretty much everything that you could possibly want to. You can even open up walls like this one right here with your shotgun to get some even crazier angles like this one, so you have it pretty much cut out for you. If you have a teammate with hard breaching charges or a Habana or a hard breacher in general, you can also open up the hatches with flank drones as well to make a hatch drop plant with Ram and her smokes. Or if you have flashes and your teammates don't have hard breaching charges, you can make your way down orange stairs after shooting that default camera and have the same exact approach. It doesn't really matter because either way you'll have smokes to get the plant down, so it should be a free round win. Wrapping it up with the newest addition to the ranked pool, let's go over Lair. As Legion, your primary objective is to sit behind the common reinforcement head hole wall right here that leads into this room, which leads into the outside and where they spawn. You do this by putting Legion mines around you so that you can swing off of them. The first 2 Legion mines I recommend are going on the left and right side of this door. This is just because if they shoot one, there'll be another one waiting for them, so either way they're going to get hit by a Legion mine. Not only this, but because you have head holes here that you're peeking and playing off of, chances are they'll walk in the doorway, get hit by a Legion mine, and then back out. So then when they come back in the doorway, they'll get hit by another Legion mine and then have to back out. So it just wastes a bit more time. Also, putting one below this window right here isn't a terrible idea for the exact same reason. You just want to be making them hit Legion mines for information and to slow them down, because people love to rush from this area. If you want as well, when you get a 4th Legion mine, you should be putting one right here next to the walkway, because sometimes people won't walk all the way around. They'll walk right here, and that Legion mine will get them 9 times out of 10. And then the same thing goes for like the left side right here, except this one is it's shootable from the window, so like pick it at your own poison. You really only want to be putting one right there if you haven't put any on your flanks, which is where you should be putting your other Legion mines. You want one on this staircase specifically because it'll make it to where if someone's flanking you, you'll know about it, but they can also flank you from this hallway as well, so putting one on this doorway is also a really, really good idea. If you don't have brain dead teammates, they'll usually be able to watch these 2 doorways here by themselves, so you don't really have to worry about putting Legion mines there, especially when you're playing all the way over there and you're so far away that you can't even swing off of them. But since you are playing right here, then what do you do with this wall? Well, a lot of people will just reinforce both sides, but you actually don't want to do this. The reason you do this is because you actually want to put head holes on the left side. The reason you put head holes on that side is because typically people will open up this wall with an ace or a thermite. And if they do that and they open this, they can easily get a plant down right here in the corner. But these head holes make it a lot harder for them to cross and sit in the corner. And if they try to do that, you can always get on the head holes and shoot them when they're planting. So these head holes make it a lot harder for them to just open the wall, put a smoke grenade right here, and plant for absolutely free. If they don't decide to get this wall open though, then they also give you a cool angle that you can use to see into the room that we talked about earlier, or the doorway right here. And as Legion, if they're pushing here, they're going to make it to the double door, which is where you should put your next Legion mine, on the double door. When people swing doorways, they typically don't swing super wide unless they're doing it really quickly, because they need to hold the angle here and they need to peak the angle here. So they'll do it close to the door, which in turn will make them hit that Legion mine. But because when you're playing Legion you have a shotgun, let me go over all of the rotates and head holes for the rest of sight that you should be doing in the prep phase for your team. The first one you'll need is right here. Putting a rotate here allows you to sit inside of CC, which in turn can make it to where you'll have head holes here that can watch the breach, or even a rotate here as well, so that you can rotate in between sites here, and make it to where if they want to actually get the bomb down or walk through this wall, they have to clear you out of CC first. The only issue is that they can get this wall open to contest it, and they can go through this double door. So what I'll do is I'll barricade this off, especially because they can get on the window from the bathroom and see into it. And then once I've barricaded that off, I'll reinforce this wall. The last thing you want to do is put head holes on this wall right here, for the exact same reason that you put head holes pretty much anywhere else, just to stop the initial plant and get an angle onto the doorway here. It is a double-edged sword though, because they can use the head holes to make it to where you can't rotate out of this door, so pick your poison. This strat relies on you playing next or near to site very heavily. You don't want to roam with this strat at all. Just like this next strat, well, you'll be playing Mira on the basement site. Now because you're playing Mira, let's go over all of the reinforcements. First of all, when you come into the connector hallway, you want these two walls reinforced. This is because if they open this wall, they can get a long angle onto this doorway, which gives them a long angle onto that doorway and the rotate, which is bad. Then you want to make sure that this wall right here is reinforced. The same thing for this single wall in the bomb site, and the same thing for this double wall right here next to the bomb site as well. Now as Mira, I'm not saying you have to do all of these reinforcements that I just showed you, but I'm just letting you know where to reinforce, because I just see a lot of people not reinforcing the right walls. You also want to get the two hatches that lead to the basement, but we'll talk about that later. Then when you come into lab, you'll want to make a rotate on the right side of this wall right here. The reason you put it on the right and not the left is because if you put it on the left side right here, then people can see you from this doorway, or optionally these head holes that some people will put here as well, which is not good. If you put it on this side, however, they won't be able to see you from that doorway. So I think it's way better to put it on this side. The only issue with this is they can now see you from that doorway when you rotate. So, you know, pick your own poison. But this is actually good for you, because what you're going to do is reinforce the left side of this wall where this rotate is, and then put a mirror on it. This will allow you to be able to shoot people on the door because you have a rotate here, and the mirror right here will also provide you that same information. People will also commonly plant behind this desk, so you can shoot out the little cardboard wall right here, as well as the other one right here to make sure they can't hide anywhere without you knowing where they're crouched. And now as you can see, it's much more dangerous for them to push that door, and push that door from the door over there, and it's a lot easier for you to hold the bomb site. The next mirror window I suggest you put down is in the same exact room, but on the other side on this wall next to the door. This mirror will allow you to watch this side. Oh, accidentally meleeed it, sorry. But you get the idea. You can see outside the mirror and shoot from the doorway with the information that it provides for you. It's very, very nice, and overall, if you just stay inside of here playing both of your mirrors, you should be pretty much set up for success. It's very, very passive, unlike its attacking strat with Ram. Now, this strat specifically is if they're playing inside of the basement. As Ram, what you'll want to do is spawn on the north or west side of the building, and then come into this door that you can see right here. Once you've done this, drone out the area, make sure no one's above you, and make sure no one is on the first floor. Once you've droned out the area, you've droned out the comms room, you've droned out projector, you can then walk in and shoot this default camera and commence your plan. If the hatch here is soft, you can open it. This will lead into a hallway leading into the basement side, which is really powerful for you. What I then recommend you do is go to the left side of the hatch and throw a ram gadget just like this. This ram gadget will give you vert onto anybody in the hallway, it will give you vert onto anybody inside of sight, or anybody trying to use the common rotate that we talked about earlier. It's a really, really good line of sight with a ram gadget. Then come into the comms room and do the exact same thing, pointing it at this wall just like this. This will give you vert onto that same connector room, but this time onto the other part of the basement, which is lab, and it will also give you a rotate, which you can then use with your shotgun to create further vert, which is really, really nice. Your last ram gadget will go next to your first one, so you should throw it just like this into the doorway in front of you. This ram gadget will give you the rest of the vert that you need to completely secure lab control for absolutely free. Pair this up with the vert that you just made earlier, and lab is no longer a safe place at all for any defender to sit. Now that you've done this, you can come downstairs to the yellow stairs. After you come downstairs, destroy the default camera here and move onto the doorway to your right. Once you've droned and secured this area, you're going to move to this doorway and use your smoke grenades to smoke off the door to your right, maybe the door to your left or the rotate right there, or the common head holes right here, but you know, you could just smoke close to you as well, and then get the bomb down. Because you have so much vert above lab that we talked about earlier, you have this vert, you have all of this vert, it'll make it a lot easier for you to plant if you have teammates playing off of your vert, and it'll make it a lot easier for you to get the bomb down and play the post plant when you can play off of all of this vert as well. Because there's so much soft floor above both of these sides, there's a lot of wiggle room with how you can do this strat. You can do vert anywhere you want to, it doesn't really matter. It's all dependent on what you want to do, which is not the case for this ace strat when attacking the top floor. As ace, it doesn't matter where you spawn, just get to the top of the building just like this. Then you're going to jump down next to the wall right here. What you're going to do then is open up a breach on the right side. That's crouch height just like this. That way, it actually gets the breach open, but it makes it to where you can crouch through and not have to vault through, and then put another ace charge just like this, and then shoot the bottom section just like that. What this does is it gives you head holes to contest the head holes that we talked about earlier with that Legion strat. But also if you want to crouch behind cover so you're not exposed to those head holes, you're able to do so because you shot out the other ace charge right here. If maybe it's too low, you can always throw the first ace charge a little higher so that you really can't be seen by the head holes, and it should be free easy gunfights that you can easily abuse. Then what I do if there's no head holes there is you can run across and get the plant down here with help from your teammates, which is arguably the hardest part. But once you're here, you can get the bomb down and then just stay here. If this wall is reinforced, you can ace it open. Same thing for this wall, and now you have a lot of angles that you can use to contest anyone trying to stop you from keeping the bomb from being defused, which is really good for you, as you can see right here. Now I can stop anyone from trying to contest me whenever I get the bomb down, and I can just shoot people. It's very nice. And it's super simple too, which is nothing like this gridlock strat for attacking the same top floor. As gridlock, what you'll do is you come onto the roof and then drop down one level until you're at this door, which is where we had our Legion strat earlier. Now because there's typically head holes here with somebody contesting you, as gridlock you can bring smoke grenades or frag grenades to contest where they're sitting so that you can easily push up, which is what your first step is going to be. Once this happens, make sure that you're contesting your doorway so that no one's peeking it. Make sure that you're contesting your head hole so no one's peeking it. And then I would wide swing this doorway and then watch your hallway just like this. This is because the first thing you're going to do is throw gridlock tracks into this hallway. These gridlock tracks will make it to where they can't rotate from the staircase or from this hallway onto where you're playing and trying to get the bomb down. And because people will typically have head holes in a reinforcement here, you can pull out your super shorty and make this into a rotate for yourself to get the bomb down at the default spot right here. And because, as you can see, the angle doesn't even peek you if they have head holes here, you can get it down for absolutely free. It's very nice. But wait, before you get the bomb down, make sure that you throw gridlock tracks somewhere in front of you, kind of like there. These gridlock tracks will cover the hallway, so even if they want to contest you from planting, they won't be able to do it without you knowing about it because you threw the gridlock tracks down. If you pair this up with smoke grenades as well, it'll make it a lot harder for them to be able to push you. I have frag grenades, which honestly I do prefer that you bring for most gridlock executes, but do whatever you want to do. If they have a rotate right here, you can do the exact same thing by throwing gridlock tracks in front of that rotate. And honestly, what I'd recommend as well is throwing gridlock tracks into this hallway here. That way, if they do destroy these gridlock tracks or they destroy the ones that were flanking you, they can't come into the hallway and into the rotate behind you to pinch you and kill you for absolutely free. Pair this up with, like I said, head holes here with an ace, which a lot of people typically do, then it makes it to where it's pretty much impossible for them to defuse the bomb if all you do is take control of this hallway, which is the hardest part, and it's the part that most attackers are actually easily able to do in most rounds anyways, which is why this is so solo queue friendly, because your randoms will mostly do the work for you. You're just mirroring a default strat that they typically use. And if you do everything like I told you, it should be a free round win. If you want more free round wins though, then check out this next video. My name's Alka, and I hope I'll see you there. Later.